as
Yeah,
frequently.
but I had to make sure everything was set up, so it's about to go live in about. YouTube has a massive delay, so YouTube like delays for
Yes.
like 20
Absolutely.
seconds. So I'm waiting for that.
Absolutely. They need to fix that.
All right, it's going live now, I think. Here we go. There we go. Now it's live. Okay, there's an ad playing. All right, now we're going live. All right, here we go. All right.
There it is. I just got
Here
the
we go. You
notification.
got it. All right, guys. I'm on full screen right now. So, hey everyone, welcome to the live stream. Before I introduce the rest of the boys, I'm just gonna say welcome all of you and thank you for all joining here. We're excited to talk about Marvel Spider-Man 2. Get your questions ready because we're gonna get into this. And now on to the next scene here with the rest of the guys. May I introduce you to comic book Keenan? Guy's amazing. He's blowing up and coming YouTuber, #1 Spidey fan, Marvel Spider-Man PS5 fan. Evan Filarca, the OG, who started all this hype. He's here. Say hello to Evan Filarca, everybody. And of course, Witty fam is here with us tonight. Guys, it's going to be a great one. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Ronnie Pugs and Protocol 36 join us. Ronnie's a little sick right now. I kind of sound like I'm talking about myself in the third person, but anyways, yeah, unfortunately he's not here tonight with us, but you know, we're keeping him in our thoughts and wish him the best, and you know, hopefully he feels better at the end of this. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get into this, and let's say hello to the whole chat. 69 viewers. Wow. That's a sexy amount of viewers right there.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, right. Figgy Swift, Ethan Martinez, let's see, Janelle Steele. Oh man, it's going like crazy, man. Yo, you guys can hear me.
Familiar faces.
I wonder if they can hear me. Hold on a second. Yeah, they can hear me. Okay, cool. I sound different on the mic when I hear myself like playing in a video. I hate the way
Every time I
sound.
edit videos with my voice, I'm like, God.
Damn, man. It's like that's what I sound like,
idiot.
dude. I feel like slapping myself. All right,
The thing
Vicky
is, though,
Galloway.
and you've experienced this, is
Magnipool.
like whenever I record, I'm like, I kind of like either like I step on my own words or I mumble. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta retake that. So I'm like, I have to
It's-
edit it in a way
It's
that
that
sounds like
far
it's
from it's that far from home
cohesive.
that's choking you up, man.
The far from home. My heart.
Oh man.
Sorry, guys. Allergies acting up.
Oh, it's all good. Anyways, there's a lot of people here. I'm sure they have a lot of questions and comments that they want to say, but let's go ahead and get into this. All right. So I got a few talking points, and then you know we can go from there and you know just jazz it up a little bit. All right. So first off,
And answer fan questions too, right? Or
yeah, we're gonna be asking. Like, we'll take a few breaks here, and we'll be asking questions. Oh, thank you for the donation, Joseph. I appreciate you.
Sick.
I'm about to get a scream from like the Rocket Man movie right now in like just a second. Every time somebody donates, there's a girly scream from the Rocket Man movie.
I didn't know that.
That's what happens. Like when somebody donates, like a little Rocket Man appears and starts screaming like a little girl. Anyways, let's see. Real Spider-Man 2 vibes. You also do more streams like this. I know. It's just, you know, everybody has different schedules, so it's kind of tough as it is.
Yeah.
There's the scream. Thank you for the donation. All right, I got one doozy for each of you. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the talking points. So the number one, I got quite a few talking points here. Stealth and wall combat mentioned by Keenan. Keenan, I watched quite a bit of your videos, and I wanted to talk about some of these talking points that you mentioned as well. So this is something I've been wanting to discuss with you guys as well. So anyways, what are your thoughts about the stealth and wall combat mentioned by Keenan? Who wants to start?
So I guess since I just posted a video, quickly,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Put my thoughts out there to you guys. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like stealth it was a little bit of a letdown. Like I should preface with with every critique that I say in this, Spider-Man PS4 is like my favorite game of all time, and like although it I see it as perfection, I understand that there's like obviously some things that could be improved on. So if I sound like I'm being negative, know that it's coming from a place of love and wanting this game to be as
it's
the best it can be. But yeah, so like the stealth, it was okay in the first game, but it definitely got really repetitive. So obviously that's something that I would like to see improved. And then they kind of did a little bit better within Miles Morales. Like I love the ceiling, ceiling kind of takedowns and wall takedowns. That was really cool. But yeah, I feel like in a sense, I would like to see an overhaul when it comes to stealth in this coming game.
You've proved valid points, and one of the key things you mentioned in the video was how when you're doing the what do you call it, the warehouse the warehouse people, like when you do the first row of people and then the next wave comes in, they automatically know exactly where you are, and that also personally annoyed me. And when you mentioned that, I'm like, man, that's something that also annoyed me. I'm glad I'm not alone, and
I
it's a
should
really
say
valid
that
point.
apparently Miles Morales did fix that,
Yeah,
and I
kind of.
completely
Yeah,
forgot
I think
about
they
it.
did. Yeah,
But yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, like guys, like you shouldn't take out a wave of enemies and guys come out like
they know where
immediately
you
knowing
are.
exactly where you're at.
Exactly. I
Hey,
feel
just
like you should have the freedom to either be the one that goes for it, or if you don't feel like dealing with the headache of a group of people, going after you, if you want to be stealth about it, then do that. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
you should have that kind of freedom to play either just going at it and just hitting everybody like nonstop. You don't care if they see you, or if you want to be chill and not be bothered, just go stealth. I feel like we should have that freedom, and I think that's what makes us feel more like Spider-Man, in my opinion. So I mean, you brought up some great talking points, Keenan. Definitely great stuff.
It's about giving like us the players the option to choose however we want to, what play style we want it to like stick to. Like everybody has a different play style, so giving the players as many options is kind of like what I'm looking for in this next game. So.
And you know what? I also think it's fair to say that, even though Spider-Man and Miles Morales, those games are really good games and I enjoy them and I've played them so many times. But even as a fan, I feel like I can also criticize it, and I feel like there are elements missing, and they can definitely add so much more. And I think with the power of the PS5, we can get the optimum Spider-Man game. And it's fair to say that they can definitely do a lot more, even though it's easier to ask than actually do it.
Right.
So,
yeah, I can see them pushing it to the limit, doing way more detail wise and feature wise and things of that nature. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely so much missing from the first one, but I'm pretty sure all of that will be improved upon, and they'll add more in the second one. So
I was going to
definitely
say,
looking forward to
because
it.
they've already done a great job in the span of 2 years, and it's not even a full-on, from the ground up sequel. It was a spin-off, just slightly tinkering things. But with Miles, they did it where there's wall takedowns and ceiling takedowns.
I'm like, where were
which they
those
didn't
in the
have
first Marvel
in
Spider-Man
the first game?
Yeah.
Which is a little bit upsetting because they had that in the Amazing Spider-Man games and a little bit in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions with the noir levels.
Yeah.
But not for Peter in his first game. And it's like,
Right.
interesting. But now they elaborated further with the mechanics because they started with their blueprint for the first game. And it's like, oh, now we know what it will look like. And now we know how to evolve it further. So now they have the camouflage with Miles. They have the ranged stealth takedowns from just behind a person on the ground or on the wall or on a rafter or on the ceiling. And now a feature which I think is going to be sick, which we already kind of got teased in the trailer, is not just tag team moves during combat. What if there's tag team stealth moves?
Oh yeah,
that makes
Peter
sense.
And Miles are teaming up with each other.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Like,
a quiet takedown.
And they even teased already if in the Black Cat DLC, we're like, okay, Black Cat, you go there, take out this guy.
Yeah, that was
the guy.
You know
to get
what?
me.
Wow, that
So
I actually
now
forgot
they
about
have
that.
Yeah, and I'm probably like in the majority here, am still upset that she wasn't a fully playable character, kind of like Catwoman in the Batman Arkham games, but just in the Insomniac verse. And I feel like hopefully if we get Peter playable, Miles playable, maybe Venom playable, we still don't know about that yet, but get
Venom's
more
gotta be
maybe in
playable.
depth with the Spider-Verse of characters. So if Black Cat returns, make her a cooperative element in that where you can control and command her what to do. And tag team, like, okay, Black Cat, you go here, Miles, go above the guy. And if it's an armored person, for example, like, okay, we got to take them all out at once. So 3, 2, 1, go. And then you can select how to, similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy game, where you can choose like what each member can do, but you can't control them. This will have the advantage of you can tell them what to do and control them. So it's going to have a lot more, like Keenan was saying, input and player immersion and direct controlling for those characters and involving them in scenarios that you as the player could choose how to approach it any way you want. I think that is going to be so cool to see them further elaborate on those elements in the sequel.
Yeah, that's
a great point.
That's a really good point, Evan. Thank you so
point.
much for sharing that. Let's go ahead and read from the chat here. It looks like we got another dono. We're about to get another screen, guys. There it is. All right. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Figgy Swift asks, do you guys think we'll see characters from the tie-in comics in Spider-Man 2? Example, Blood Spider and Maya Lopez from Hostile Takeover, Swarm and Ghost from SM's Velocity, and Starling from Wings of Fury.
I literally have all comics.
Yeah,
in the game.
Evan, you could probably take this one. You can answer this question.
Like,
actually,
Swarm in the book?
Yeah, I had those comics too, but I actually did not read all of them. Honestly,
okay.
I haven't read them all.
I actually did a video the other day. Well, the other day being like a week ago, going over the top 5 comics you need to read before playing Marvel Spider-Man 2. And while we don't have a lot of stuff to go off of just yet, there's a lot of things we can't imply and kind of see coming based on what we know so far and what so the comics have been confirmed to, at least for Velocity, since it's like a spin-off story, is not canon to the universe. Just kind of incorporating what that is to that and just kind of doing their own thing. Right. But still adds, like what they said, like Speed Demon and the Velocity suit has a lot more of a reason for existing in the universe, which is sick. But like, yeah, the Echo was another character in the Hostile Takeover novel and Blood Spider. Yeah, like they could do that easily as just side missions. And same thing with the more minor characters that we didn't see in the first game, like if they decide to do like Beetle and make her like Tombstone, where it's not, and I say her because there is the version of Beetle where it's Tombstone's daughter instead of just the other guy. But if they go that approach and make it kind of like continuing arc of the side mission stuff, or Wraith with Yuri Watanabe becoming the Wraith, is she going to be a main mission antagonist to go after, or a side mission villain to approach during just some point in the story? So if they look at the comics, the Black Cat Strikes is so good because it not only gives more depth to Felicia Hardy and Peter Parker's relationship, but have that further expanded in the narrative itself of like, Felicia helped out Peter during the DLC and all of a sudden she's back, but then Web of Shadows style, she sees him in the black suit and all of that, and they kind of get together again. If that happens,
you think they will? Do you think they will actually lead in that direction where Black Cat will witness Peter Parker in the black suit and actually lead to something similar to what we saw in Web of Shadows?
I'm hoping so. Like, I'm gonna be so upset if they don't, because it's
a comic reference and it's a Web of Shadows reference too, because Black Cat does prefer Peter in a black suit. He even made it. She even made one for her.
She made the cloth version.
Yeah, the cloth version for him because he likes him in black. He thinks he looks sexier. Like she thinks he looks sexier,
and she's not wrong at all.
I mean,
but I think with got
the cake.
Black Cat, what's interesting is that in the comic, which I love so much, is I've always kind of when people ask me like, Evan, how do you ship Felicia with Peter and not MJ with Peter? That's like their main
I ship
relationship.
Black Cat
even
with Peter,
Gwen
dude.
with Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man. Like, listen, like the whole thing is that it's like she's experiencing like a story of growth every time she's encountering Spider-Man as Black Cat. But then we see in the comic of the Black Cat Strikes, Felicia Hardy did team up with Peter to go straight to become like this good person and follow in his footsteps as like a team and partners and a crime fighting duo, which I love. And then she, he unmasks and she knows he's Peter Parker and they have this, more intimate relationship. But she, at one point in the comic, she's like, I try to be good, Peter, but I'm not good like you're good. And I can never reach that same standard. And that's such a good narrative detail for her overall character and her encompassing this Black Cat persona and how she continuously teams up with Spider-Man to try and, tease him and try and like go about her scheme or whatever that she's doing, but still like show like they can be a team when need be, right? Because she loves them being together in that way. And I love that kind of like, will they, won't they dynamic. And if that happens again, the sequel, to like get to the question, if they bring that back with the symbiote and how that'll affect Peter's relationships with everybody, will he choose Felicia or will he like feel conflicted of like, MJ's bringing me down, I can't really do what I want as Spider-Man with her just nagging me all the time or whatever. But like stuff like that would really get to the heart of the characters and the story at heart about what the symbiote's going to do once it's introduced and speckled into Peter's life.
Yeah.
hopefully they change Mary Jane from not having pancakes anymore.
Jesus.
But, things happen for a reason.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because in real life, Mary Jane's actual model that does the body thing capture. She is a model herself on Instagram, and she looks fantastic, dude.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But
Stephanie Tyler.
Yeah, I didn't know her name. I forgot. Sorry. Thank you. I'll use that for research purposes later.
Don't worry. I'll be your local encyclopedia for this whole stream. I got you covered.
So, real quick in the chat, just a little disclaimer. I apologize if I can't get to all your questions, but I just know that I do see them, and it's not going to be possible for me to answer all of them. But I did see an interesting question that somebody asked. It came from the comic book king, and he said, if you guys had to pick a superhero name team for all of us, what would it be?
For us?
Yeah, for us, right? Us four right now.
I thought we already had with the Spidey Squad. I thought.
Well, that's one, but like I'm a part of that. I would start. I would say the Miraculous Four sounds pretty cool right now.
The Miraculous Four, I like that.
Or the Stupendous Four. I mean, either
on the Fantastic Four.
And the Fantastic Four, but that's already taken.
Trademark pending.
Trademark pending.
That's a good one. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not creative with naming anything, so I'm gonna defer that.
Yeah. How about the Soldiers 4? Soldiers 4.
You know what we should do is like have the chat figure out a good name.
Yeah, you know what, chat, you decide at the towards the end. We'll place a vote in the chat. Yeah, we'll place a vote at the chat. Let's go ahead and pick another question. There's some interesting ones. You guys want to go through some of the questions on the chat here? Maybe you want to pick out one.
Yeah. Let's see what we got.
Oh, this is a good one.
All right. What
do you guys think about the symbiote? Like, how would it be introduced, basically?
Oh,
I'm assuming like how will it?
Keenan, you want to start with this one?
I don't know. I mean, like I've kind of gone back and forth on this a lot, and mostly because like I have my theories, and then somebody in my comments comes up with a better theory, and I'm like, I like that better.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like I'm easily swayed in that. But I mean, like there's rumors out there.
I have a theory myself, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily have a theory of my own anymore. Because the longer I sit on it, the more I'm just like, I'm not a writer. I'm gonna let them do their thing. They're gonna blow me away, and my ideas just suck. So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, from what I think I know,
sorry,
I think that Peter's gonna get the symbiote pretty early on in this game, and I don't think that.
I don't know.
I'm
a couple
hours
in,
that's what I'm
not
thinking. Gonna be Venom. Right. And there's just going to be some sort of encounter that's going to happen with Harry and Peter that leads to the symbiote coming to Peter.
Yeah.
And then who becomes Venom is remains to be seen. I would prefer it to not be so like cut and dry and like because it kind of seems too obvious based on like the post credits of the Spider-Man PS4 game that. Oh, Harry has a symbiote on him in this tank. Like he's going to become Venom.
Right.
I'd prefer to almost have a twist and not really know who it's going to be. So yeah, like I said, don't really have necessarily a theory, but I'm hoping to just be like kind of surprised at how they go about it. I hope it's just not something that we've seen before a million times. Like Insomniac has like, I think Brian actually mentioned, when I think he was talking to, it might've been like, it's a podcast, maybe Kind of Funny or like one of those bigger gaming podcasts, and he said that like that storyline deserves its own game.
Yeah, that
it
was
needs
on
to
that
be told in a way
interview.
that Insomniac would tell it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Insomniac will find a unique and fresh way of telling that story.
All right.
I think there's going to be an actual twist to this story because I'm gonna call it right now, and this live stream is gonna be saved for you to play it back. I feel like we are being led on. Chat. Yeah, I'm gonna clip this one. I feel like we're gonna be led on. We're being led on right now this entire time to believe 100%. Harry is Venom, and the reason why is because if my memory serves me right, the symbiote is attracted to the physicality of the host, the power of the host. He needs a strong host. Harry is just like, I guess, a base, like just to maintain the life of the symbiote. A symbiote needs a host to live, but it needs it's more attracted to more of a powerful host. So what I think is going to happen while the symbiote remains on Harry and Peter comes in contact with Harry, I feel like they're going to have a conversation where, like, Harry, I thought you were gone from Europe, even though Peter knows that he's been sick the entire time, just to get something out of Harry. And while maybe Peter's not looking or something, while they're in contact, the symbiote will sneak off and attach to Peter, and then Peter will become the black-suited Spider-Man. And I think it'll introduce new characters, possibly Eddie Brock, but I don't know how they're going to do that by, you know, what do you call it? Horseshoeing him in, like just shooing him in there. I don't know how they're going to do it in a way where we can accept and go like, okay, I buy that, you know.
They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to introduce him. Sorry for cutting you off, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
They're going to have to introduce him like really
early in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But
in order to like get that adaptation or, you know, that feel for him.
Yeah. But I think we're just being led on. It's way too easy to think Harry's Venom. It's too easy. And I think Harry's just serving as, you know, like the symbiote's using Harry just for its benefit to live. And that's it. Harry's just not strong enough to withstand the symbiote, I guess. That's what I'm thinking. So that's just my theory.
Yeah, I feel like Evan's gears are turning this whole time.
Dude, it's kind of twisted.
Like, you know, really, Peter Griffin. You don't really.
Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears?
Really grinds my gears. Matt Gargan Venom really grinds my gears.
Oh my god, yeah, he's not even a good Venom at all. We don't have to talk about that.
Let's speak about it.
You know, Agent Venom, Flash Thompson's fine. Whatever.
He's pretty. He's cool.
It's either for me, Eddie, or bust. In the context of the comics of him being the main host of Venom, in the context of this game's universe, it has to be Harry. I'm sorry. There's no way it can't be.
I don't know,
because even though we already saw the Easter egg of the Eddie Brock signed goodbye card, like, nice working with you, Peter. They've done it twice now with these little post-credit scenes. Like, first, Harry's trapped in the Nickelodeon GAC, and he's just kind of passed out with the symbiote, and he's just kind of there, and then the symbiote has like a consciousness, like it's reaching out to Norman. And in the trailer, we hear, "We will," like, yes, we will challenge you, Craven, to the thrill of the hunt, like what that kind of narration was implying, and just going after Peter and Miles. And then at the end of Miles' game, which Ryan and we talked about after we recorded our recent collab, is Norman's telling to Kurt Connors, get him out right now. Like, right now, get him out. I'm tired of him being trapped in this tank. He needs out. And in the context of the game's universe, it was a year gap from Spider-Man 1 to Miles. Would they do another time jump now with already implying like how long it's going to take Harry to get out of this tank?
I'm thinking 3 months.
Anything, we'll start like, maybe a couple months after, or what if they just start like right there? Like,
I think Marvel, it's going to be 2. Spring.
Like the loading, like the title menu, right? Was the Spider-Man 1 was just Peter on the side of that little pole looking out to the city in the sunset. Miles was in the subway looking at his phone, just chilling. That's cool. Marvel Spider-Man 2, imagine it's just the tank and the green Harry's there. It's gotten worse. Or there's more of the symbiote everywhere, and then just you press X and then boom, you just start the game with Harry, which I'm begging for. I'm begging for.
What if it's a Quiet Night menu?
Venom, which I would love. I would also love to see that, but I'm begging for kind of a Last of Us 2 style thing where you play as the antagonist. Not how badly they did in that game, because I'm not a fan of that game.
No.
Sorry to you fans who are. But for the concept, right? The thought of not playing as Peter or Miles, but Harry Osborne outside the tank, and you're walking around like all ill and like sick and what's going on, and then you discover the symbiote's on you, and then it transitions from him kind of understanding what this thing is to eventually meeting Peter somehow for it to transfer onto him to become Black Suit Spider-Man, because that's the whole premise of this game, which is not even revealed yet, is Black Suit Spider-Man. Because
so you think we'll start with Harry? That's interesting.
Right now.
Yeah, like Harry and transition into Peter somehow, or Miles even as the Black Suit Spider-Man, which is weird because now it's like, oh, we're gonna play as Black Suit Spider-Man, but there's already a Black Suit Spider-Man with Miles, so it's like, what does that mean? So how are they gonna identify? You know, so it's like the trippiness of that. But with Miles and Peter's connection with Harry, because Peter told Miles about Harry in one of those audio things during one of the races.
Yeah.
That Peter left. And Peter, like you said, Ronnie, like MJ told Peter about Harry, so now he's informed about what's going on.
Yeah.
And they don't know his current state or what he's looking like in the tank with the symbiote. But they could also do like the Ultimate Comics Venom route, where it's not really an alien of sorts. It's like this man-made substance that's keeping him alive.
Yeah.
Biologically and sustainably for his own, digression, that he's, that he's sadly kind of experiencing the same disease that killed his mom, but also that they have to keep him around long enough to also set up a future story with Norman turning into the Green Goblin. And I think what the long-term goal is here is if they make Harry Venom instead of Eddie, because I would love to see Eddie Brock in this game, don't get me wrong. But there's more that personal stake, that more interest for the narrative connection with the personal element with Peter and Harry versus Spider-Man and Eddie and all that,
Yeah, exactly.
And if they do that and they kill Harry and he dies by the end of the game by accident or something, Norman's just like,
he's gonna blow up.
Give me that Green Goblin Nickelodeon gag right in my face.
You know what? He's gonna. I think
get that glider gear in the closet, and I'm Green Goblin, Marvel Spider-Man 3.
Norman's gonna pull a Thanos, like, fine, I'll do it myself, kind of thing. I think Norman's actually gonna he's gonna freak out. And then we'll get a post-credit scene where he injects himself with the the serum.
Yep.
And he laughs. I'm calling it. He laughs maniacally. And you get a close-up shot of his face being all maniacal, and it cuts to black. And then Spider-Man 3, dude, it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen, man. And we'll hear like his cackle, like echo in like the black screen. Woo! Chills, literal chills, literal chills.
That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
The giggles.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Dude. Sheesh.
Mark Rolston's Norman Osborne, by the way, legendary. Now, I'm wondering though, if they do that, would they do like that route, like Mark Rolston, who plays Norman Osborn? Would they make him voice Green Goblin, or would they do the Spectacular Spider-Man route where there were two voice actors? There was
Izzy just asked a good question.
I forget the main actor who played Norman, but Steve Blum voiced Green Goblin in the Spectacular Spider-Man, just like here.
Yeah.
I forget Scott Porter is the voice of Harry Osborn in the Marvel Spider-Man games from the first one, and I think just the first game where he voiced the research labs.
Yeah.
And then Tony Todd is Venom. He's not Harry, he's Venom's
Venom.
So,
he sounds like the animated series Venom too. I love that.
Bro, I'm gonna cry when I hear like his roar, for example. Like,
dude, can you imagine like walking around as Venom and in that 5K crisp picture? He's gonna look disgusting and sick. It's gonna look amazing. Oh man, crazy. The fights are gonna look great. The sequences are gonna look amazing. Oh man, it's gonna make.
We haven't even seen a shred of him.
I'm picturing it. I'm picturing it.
No, but I mean, like, no, but I'm saying like he's already beaten Tom Hardy's Venom out the window. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm not a fan of either of those. The
Venom movies are not that great, anyways.
I don't like.
But it's like, damn, like if they've already casted Tony Todd, freaking Candyman, as Venom, then they're already like beating everything else. So I don't know what they can do, like again, like in a boss fight, or sadly though, I'm wondering how easy it might be for Miles to beat Venom since he's weak to the Venom Blast, or at least the ultimate version of it.
Maybe they won't go that route. Maybe where like he won't have the weakness to electricity like he does in the Ultimate Comics. Maybe it'll just be fire and sound as usual.
Immune to that.
Because then that'll be too easy. That'll be way too easy. Then you'd feel way too overpowered.
He's just like, and he has two Venom Blasts now because he's blue and orange in the trailer. So it's like, whoa, okay.
You got a power up.
From that explosion.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So now it's all about exactly like managing the I don't know what the proper term is, like balancing the characters to make it feel not overpowered but not underpowered, because then you already see like what Insomniac's answer is now to get Peter on Miles's level, because Miles was already so much more powerful than Peter in his game with the Venom Blast. And the trade-off though there is that Peter's smarter because he has more gadgets and he's more aware of what to do since he's been Spider-Man longer. But Miles, just from like his power set, he has the ability to turn invisible. He has the Venom Blast, the Mega Venom Blast. the exaggerated swagger of a black teen, so that's all there. So there's all that.
They gotta introduce sequel, the dance sequences.
They gotta get the dance,
the animation.
But there's also the arms now. Peter has the Doc Ock, Iron Spider-esque arms.
Yeah.
In the sequel, and then if he gets the black suit on top of that, what's that going to mean for them having to use like the skill tree and manage the upgrades, slightly increasing in power for Black Suit Spider-Man versus Miles and Peter in their normal suits? And then if Venom is playable, what does that look like? So there's all that, the managing element of the characters to really give player equilibrium when playing amongst all these different spider people. And if they look at like Ultimate Spider-Man or Web of Shadows, you see how they can balance the black suit's power versus the red suit's power. And I think that knowing how they are expecting us to see Black Suit Spider-Man, like Insomniac should be aware that we're all thinking Black Suit Spider-Man is in this game, which, by the way, anyone who's wondering, that hasn't been even officially confirmed yet. We still don't even know.
I mean, what's this game without Black Suit? Like, anyways.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like, you can't have a Venom in the game or in a story with Spider-Man unless you do the Venom movie route without Black Suit Spider-Man. So now that you have Spider-Man and Venom in that trailer, it definitely implies that Black Suit Spider-Man is going to be.
I think this story was inevitable, anyways. Brian Intar did mention in that interview that Devin, you clipped it where it's safe. It should be safe for a better, like another game. And I think this is the opportunity. It'd be a wasted opportunity if we didn't get a Black Suit. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna go to the next talking point, but yeah, go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead.
Oh no, this is just random. I was gonna say, what if the scene of like Venom coming through the alleyway or whatever the case may be is not even in the game? What if they pulled the MCU?
Oh shit.
I mean, of course, Venom's going to be in the game, but I'm just saying, like, that scene.
Don't Ralph Boner Venom.
Oh, you mean like if they like portal him into
portal him to another dimension, like to this one?
No. I didn't mean that. As in, just like, you know how the MCU, for example, had, I don't know, just like they show certain scenes, but they don't. That particular scene don't end up in the movie.
That's a possibility. I don't think that scene's in the game. They were just teasing Venom.
Before we hop off the Harry and Venom topic, like, Evan, you're talking about possibly starting off the game with Harry becoming Venom pretty early on. Does that happening cause you any concern that there won't necessarily be any time dedicated to fleshing out a relationship you care about between Harry and Peter? Because all we've gotten so far are just like audio logs, and flashback discussion about what the relationship was like. But if Peter and Harry are coming, they're going to be enemies in this game. You want to care about their relationship. So having Harry start off with Venom pretty much right out the gate, does that cause you any concern that you're not going to have any time to build a relationship that you care about between these two characters?
It's weird because what was so good about the first game is that whole relevant story with Doc Ock and Peter's bond to, over time, it's so smart. Over time, throughout the whole game, you're making the tentacles. You are making Doc Ock tentacles.
That's true.
Insane. Wasn't that not the coolest thing in that entire game? I love that so awesome. Much. So here, but though we had like he was working for Otto, and we saw that process of him becoming Doc Ock throughout the whole game. They could do that again here, but it might be like more the same. But here, though, this isn't like a coworker or like a father figure type thing or a mentor that Peter views with Otto. This is his best friend, and he's been friends with him since like they were kids and in high school and all that. Actually, in high school because he met him in high school, because you heard that in the audio log. But my point is, they have that established connection, but you as the player want to see that more fleshed out, right? And for people who aren't like us, like the super diehard fans, they might not even remember Harry was in the first game. Like, I did those little side missions with the research labs, and then there was that post-credit scene in the end of the game, of course, because now we see Venom in the trailer. But they might not know all about what there is to know about the Osbornes and Harry's mom dying, and like they might forget those points. So you're right, like they have to do something that will immerse you as a player. And since Ryan and I, we talked about this, like it's not a co-op game, so it's all story all the time. So they really need to draw you in with a narrative that will connect the player more to Harry and sympathize with him if he is sick and he's experiencing this stuff, becoming this monster with Venom that he doesn't want to be, and he has that inner struggle, just like Peter does, kind of with dealing with Doc Ock near the end of the game, like, you're everything I wanted to be. So it's like when they do that, with Harry, like, you are my best friend, or something like that along the lines. How are they going to handle, that tragic eventual outcome? Because someone's dying. I'm sorry. Someone is dying in this game. If it's Harry, if it's Rio, because she dies when she encounters Venom in the comics.
Right.
If it's MJ or Genki, who knows? All this stuff. Like, there's so many routes to make it that much more impactful, and you're like, how they'll go about it's going to be crazy.
Look at it this way. I think if anybody close to Peter dies, we will definitely feel it, only because we only got to know Aunt May in one game, and I certainly felt it when she died. And I'm like, that was a bold move. So if we get to know Harry Osborne from the very beginning, I think we'll have the same effects because this is someone that's obviously close to Peter Parker. But yeah, I mean, I think we would definitely feel the same exact effects that we felt with Aunt May dying. And it's just, it's all thanks to the actor's actual performance,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes me wonder if they'll kind of take the route of Miles Morales and do some flashback sort of missions.
That too. That's a possibility. Yeah. Maybe you can play as young Peter Parker before he became Spider-Man, and we get to hang out with Harry.
I pray to God we see that.
Yeah, we get to actually play with Harry Osborne as a kid. When we're young Peter Parker, like kid Peter Parker, and we see a lot of these flashback sequences where we actually get to interact and play it. I think it'll leave a sentimental feeling in us.
I hope we see something.
And we will remember that. That'll be a recall if Harry does die at the end of the game.
It's funny because one of my other online buddies, Slickmoth, he actually brought that exact point up in one of the videos we did. Imagine so with Otto, you experienced him in the first game throughout the main story, that downfall of him from Otto Octavius, good-hearted scientist, to Doc Ock, supervillain supreme in the game, and it was awesome. Well, Slickmoth brought up, like, what if, instead of doing that again with Harry, you kind of get that, like, you get that perspective of playing as Harry, but then, like, if you're fighting, like, Venom's just killed Rio Morales, for example, he's taken out Miles, you, Peter, the only one left standing, you have to fight Harry. During the boss fight, we were fighting Peter, or you're fighting Harry as Peter, and you're the only two left standing. Interspliced between them fighting, like, get off, Harry. You're like, Harry, how could you do this? You get like flashes instantly, like them having fun as kids in high school, talking to MJ, and then you cut back and forth during that fight.
Oh, like, that'd be crazy. That'd be too much for me to bear.
Like,
that'd be too much for me to bear, man.
It's sick.
That'd be too much for me to bear. Oh God.
So I'm saying, like, and they killed Aunt May.
No more pancakes.
Yeah.
No more pancakes.
What if MJ get clipped and that introduces Gwen, like, somewhere down the road, or I don't know. There's so much stuff.
Or they reverse Gwen, like they give Mary Jane the Gwen kill, and then Gwen's the MJ in this universe. Man. Oh my God, you're killing me! You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. God damn! All right, that's interesting. Oh man, like, let's leave it as a what if, but if it does play out like that, I'm gonna freaking flip, and I don't even know how to do a flip. So, anyways, let's go ahead and let's get to the next topic point here. All right, so we kind of talked about, like, the black suit abilities here and there, Venom's role, but this is actually kind of a burning question, believe it or not, and it's a simple one. But is Venom going to be the main antagonist? And I'll start off by saying I don't think so. I think it's also a lead on. I don't think he's going to be the main antagonist. That's just my opinion. I have my reasons, but you guys are willing to argue. If you're willing to argue that, please, I want to hear it. Comic Blast, Keenan, come on.
I hope that he is. I just want so much. I just want, like, this story to be focused on the symbiote, like that. Yeah. That'd be the main thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I hope that it is just Venom, and that we get an emotional ending similar to the one that we got in the first game, between two characters that I care about. But I get the whole thing where you just, like, you don't want to repeat the same thing
exactly
in the first game. I get that. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. Like it's a very like Spider-Man stories are just about his worlds colliding, and like usually like he has a connection to these villains in some way in his personal life, and it just happens to repeat itself at the same time. Like you see that time and time again, how he has these very human connections and real relationships with people who end up kind of taking a dark turn. So like we're gonna have Green Goblin, and like Peter's very familiar with Green Goblin. He's already gonna have that connection with Norman Osborn in the third game. So I'm kind of fine with it if it does repeat itself, that same similar story.
To add on to that, so so I guess for all you guys, but for you, Keen, how did you feel about like with Finn's whole character in Miles Morales? Because they did try and do that similar archetype with the friend. Downfall is the Tinker.
She was a little annoying,
right?
I liked it. The only reason why I think it didn't impact as hard as for me versus the first game, because the game was shorter.
Yeah,
exactly. That's really all it is.
Well, also we've seen it before with the first game. It's a very similar story.
That, but also if they had more, like they tried to do it like immediately at the end, where like they had that little tour in the Oscorp Science Center, which wasn't in the first game, by the way.
Not at all.
They had that out of nowhere, but it was cool because you got to see that little scene where Peter and Otto are looking at the little robot.
Oh, that's awesome.
When that music kicked in, when they both entered the room, I'm like, oh, they're here.
I cried because it wasn't my boy John. I'm like, shit.
It looked weird. It did look weird though.
Whatever, but like at least you got that right. You got that little extra little nugget of cool little additional relationship building and dynamic bonding between the two. And they tried to do that with Finn and Miles, but yeah, it didn't hit as hard because it just didn't develop it as much as I'd like them to.
Yeah.
But again, it's because they had to fill for the shorter runtime. So now, to add on to what Keenan's saying, is to add on with this. This is the official sequel. It's a PS5 exclusive. It's gonna be
upset,
a
anybody.
game from Tony Todd himself. He's saying all this crazy stuff, and it's like, Jesus Christ, like this is gonna be, honestly, like, in my opinion, a narrative that is so layered and focused on spreading out the individuality of Miles and Peter now as Spider-Man, right? Because Miles' game was about him becoming Spider-Man in his own way. And he's like, Peter's like, I trust you, like at the end of the Miles story, he calls him up like, it's okay, I trust you. I won't be swinging over your shoulder anymore because I know you can do it. And it's great. And now that they're established as this unit, now they have to face this challenge that could tear their worlds apart. But from the inside, knowing if Harry is aware of, he eventually later on might find out that Peter's Spider-Man and so on and so forth. But how that narrative is going to be so expansive, right? Because this is not a spinoff. This is not a smaller game. This is a mainline official sequel with a full narrative length story. So it's not going to cut corners. It's not going to quicken and shorten some things. It's just going to fully deliver you in that fully immersive narrative experience.
Dude, I wanted to really see John Bubniak's model do the black suit. Like, I don't want to see the new one doing the black suit. I really wanted to see it, but I've gotten I'm just gonna say it, because somebody brought that up right now. It was Tony Bands on the chat. The reason why I'm bringing this up, because now I've kind of like I've gotten over it, and it's like, it's whatever. But I still do and will always miss the original face for John Bubniak, because I feel like he has the appearance of a wiser Peter Parker, even though he's relatively young. He's your age, Evan. Like, you're 23, right? Like, or at least
24 now.
24.
I'm the exact age as Peter.
Peter's actually 24 in Miles. Oh. So yeah, he'll be presumably maybe turning 25 when we see Marvel Spider-Man 2. When we play it. So like I'm just imagining it. Like, he has the right fit. I can imagine like the symbiote coming off of him, and you still see his face. And he's like wearing the black suit, and I'm like, it's a good look, It's
what I'm saying, dude.
Like, it doesn't look as menacing. Like, it looks menacing more than the new guy. What's his name? The actor,
Ben Jordan.
Ben Jordan. It looks more menacing than Ben Jordan's face.
And I brought this up. Like, I've made my peace with it, and it's like, you will never convince me that the final Doc Ock, confrontation scene, you were everything I wanted to be. You'll never convince me that
it's a static face.
Portrayal did better than John's in that moment. I will say, I get it. The added tears within the Aunt May. It's still like, in that scene, the tears weren't coming from Peter. They're coming from me, because I was crying my eyes out when Aunt May's dying and Peter's still like keeping it together. And yeah, I get it. they remastered it to give like more detail on the hair and the facial expressions. I get, because in certain scenes it does look a bit better. It's just that the model itself isn't visually polished enough for the aesthetic that they already set forth for Peter in this world of him being a 23, 24-year-old as Spider-Man for 8 to 9 years. It doesn't fit that archetype. Now, though, and I brought this up in several
Grow
videos,
the hair, maybe make him look a little older.
Give him a stubble, exactly. In this, though, the reason why is that they set John for the benchmark for Peter's design in the first game initially, and that was it, right? But then the remaster, they had to overlook and overdo and reiterate those scenes with Ben's face over John's visual aesthetic, right? And I interviewed John in person, so it's like he's already explaining he was in the role and giving his all and performing those scenes with Aunt May's death. Like, he teased Aunt May's death before even we knew Aunt May was going to die to my face. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, I miss my boy. But in this now, in the sequel, I'm hoping Insomniac will, if they're keeping Ben, which it looks like they are, sadly. I mean, props to Ben, and he's just doing his job as an actor. And Yuri is the main performer as Spider-Man, and Peter doing all those scenes with the mocap suit on, the facial recording. So that's all Yuri, but it's with John. It's Ben's face now. What I'm saying in the sequel is that it is an exclusive to the PlayStation 5 from the ground up, only for that platform. For the remaster, they had to redo the scenes from PS4 to a brand new console with the PS5, which is why some scenes it looks fine and others it doesn't. And people say the model looks 1,000 times better in Miles. I don't think so. It just looks the exact same after playing a remaster.
Nah, I can't agree on that.
Wait, what model looks better?
What
model looks better in Miles?
But Ben Jordan looks better on Miles when he's on the rooftop, in my opinion. Way better than the way he did in.
With this, though, knowing that it is an exclusive, they will now work with Ben for at the very beginning. Now, at the very ground up benchmark working point for Peter's model to look as visually polished as possible.
Right.
Well, with the PS5, I'm sure they're going to make those changes. Give him an entirely new haircut. Please do not. Like, he's supposed to look like a college kid who can't afford a haircut.
Haircut wise, I think they should
grow the hair. Give him the 1990s animated series hair. Long hair looks good.
Biased because my hair, when it grows out long, it literally is John's hair. Yeah. So I'm like, that was like, I saw me and John, I'm like, damn, that hurts. But whatever. It is what it is now. We can't do anything to change it, So I'm hoping now, at the very least, that they can improve upon what they have with the sequel. Although Najee got a fade in Miles, he looked amazing. So what's he gonna look now in the sequel? Is he gonna have like, I don't know,
longer hair, like more
still a fade?
How about, I don't know, like
still
what would it look like?
Still a fade. Still a fade.
Because
he could still have a drop fade with more hair in his head. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wondering.
Yeah, but Tom Holland has not John Holland, Ben Jordan has that dweeb face that Tom Holland has. He doesn't look smart.
The thing is, like, Ben Jordan, like, if you look at like some of his like
Polar Express looking ass.
If you see like Ben Jordan's like actual photo shoots, because I think he's not necessarily an actor, right? He's like a model.
Yeah.
John is an actor.
Yeah, so like,
Ben was a model. It is a model. Yeah, so
Ben,
it's
like, I've seen pictures of him, and I'm like, he looks like a pretty solid Peter Parker.
He's a good-looking kid, but like with the long hair, it looks like better like Peter Parker.
I've seen some pictures of him with like longer hair, and I'm like, that looks like Peter Parker. I'm like, why can't we have more of this look in the game as opposed to what they gave us? Because it just didn't work well for me.
I think they saw us complaining about like the hair. I remember we was all reposting hair situation on Twitter. I think
people were making edits with like different hair on him.
Exactly, it looked amazing. Amazing with the hair. Actually, I'll never forget this. The day that Insomniac Games made the announcement to change the model character for the remastered, I never forgot this. I was standing at work, and I pulled out my phone. I went, "What the fuck?" And then, so I'm like, "What is this? Is this like, did somebody fan make this with like a different model? It can't be real." And then I'm like, "Oh my god, it's real!" I'm like, "Oh my god, it's happening! Oh my god, what did they do?" And I was like messaging everybody, and then I messaged, and I go to my coworker because the Ben Jordan model, not the Ben Jordan model, the what's the other guy's name? I'm sorry, Ben Jordan model looks like one of my ex coworkers, and I go like, "Hey, dude," I'm like, "That's you." He's like, oh shit, that does kind of look like me. I'm like, yeah, it looks like you.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah. And I go like, you really do look like a Peter Parker kind of face guy. You know, like you have a Peter Parker face. But it was funny. And I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. And I was reading Insomniac's reasoning behind it. I'm like, no, PlayStation putting you against the wall to say that kind of bullshit. So
in Insomniac we trust all the time, but yeah, I don't believe that they're reasoning for a second. I'm sorry, because that's not how motion capture
it doesn't work like that. Anybody can do motion. I mean, Josh Brolin doesn't have a chiseled scrotum chin, but he was able to do Thanos.
Is he purple? I don't think so. Is Andy Serkis a 2 foot tall little gremlin monster?
Is he a gorilla? So. Is he a gorilla or monkey or primate or whatever? Yeah. Like, come on, man. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. It was Sony going like pushing Spider-Man.
More for me. I think the reason why I was so impacted by it is because I love this game, first off, but also like I don't think I would have been as affected by it if I hadn't met John. And he directly said he loves the Spidey Squad. He loves being a part of the game. He told me his entire backstory of like, oh, I grew up a Spider-Man fan. My mom freaked out when I told her that I got to be the visual for it. It's like, they did him dirty. I'm sorry, but it's like it hurts because he cares so much, and he still cares. But I respect it also because he gave like the wave of approval, like the thumbs up for Ben. He's like, he'll do good. I'm like, okay, but I'm still like, in the back of my mind, I'm always gonna be thinking like black suit John Bubniak. Even like in the chat, I just sent a picture of like this is a fan edit.
There it is, right there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like someone made a fan edit of like, oh, what we all thought was gonna happen when they said brand new next gen Peter Parker. Like, oh, they'll just enhance
the hair's realistic John there, right there. That's
what
perfect.
he is now. But then it's like, oh, we'll get someone completely different. Like, why though? But then whatever. So I'm just hoping that'll make it look as good as it could possibly be.
God damn it, man. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. No, I can't right now. I would show the chat. Damn. But that's a good image. I'm sure a lot of people showed it, seen that image.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and like anybody else want to say anything before I go to the next talking point?
I'm good.
All right, so let's go into the next one. All right, so I like this one. We already are aware about like about how much how dark this game is. However, I would like to know to what extent is Insomniac Games willing to go to make this game dark? Because apparently this game is going to be really dark, and I'm just wondering what kind of elements can we see that makes this game really dark. So, what do you think, Keenan?
I think that it starts with like tonally making it dark, setting the right like the mood, the vibe, the ambience, the music, which I think John Pisano's coming back for the second the second game. Brilliant composer.
Oh, but great. Yeah. I love that guy.
I think it starts with the setting, I think. And getting that right, making sure Venom really is a menacing villain to go up against. And yeah, I mean, he's got to be ruthless and brutal. And then you have to see Peter make some decisions that kind of make you feel uncomfortable as a player. Like, you have to see him do things that aren't necessarily going to sit well with you, you know? Not that I want him to go like slap MJ, but like, just, little things where you start to slowly see kind of like his demise or his turn, Yeah. And as you're playing him, like, you want to feel this, like, this great rush where you're like, I feel so powerful in this black suit and it's awesome to play and like, kick guys' ass and stuff like that. It's going to be great. You're going to feel the thrill of that. But at the same time, like, I want to have in the back of my mind, like, I'm not sure what I'm doing is necessarily right, like I'm not sure how much I should be celebrating Peter in this moment, even though he looks like a badass and it's so thrilling to play as him in this black suit. You want to have, that dilemma, or I want to feel that dilemma while I'm playing as Peter Parker. So
that's actually a good point.
It's just like a great starting point.
Speaking of feeling uneasy, what if Insomniac Games finds a way to make us, the player, feel like we're in Peter's shoes, where we ask ourselves, am I willing to do this and this while I'm wearing the black suit? I also want to be able to feel that way as well. Feel what the character feels. I mean, I think that's the point, but kind of obvious to state something like that, but now that if you really think about it, wouldn't you want to also feel uneasy as well because you're wearing the black suit in a way, in the game?
Right.
Yeah, it's like when you get into combat, and I'm assuming the combat, like when you have the black suit on, is going to be a little bit more
brutal,
show off the brutal side of Peter Parker, and like I want to be like, performing these moves where I'm just like, God, that was so cool, but also, is he still alive? Like, I'm not sure, he might be dead.
I want to see him shove somebody's face in like a wall or some shit.
Yeah, just
my God, no, that's like probably like that person will die later in the hospital. That's murder.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but still, like
at the very least,
I love Funky Soul. Like
gonna
that
cry?
Funky Soul.
Yeah,
gonna cry. Oh, dude, Spider-Man 3 Easter eggs have to be in that game. I want Peter to say things like
they already did in the first game with the finger guns.
I know, but I'm saying I want him to say actual lines like "gonna cry" or I want an actual dance animation where he's doing the dance
little
thing.
Venom Jr.
Yeah, look at Harry. Little Harry, little Osborne Jr. Gonna cry. Oh my God, this shit's funny. Oh my God, you have any with nuts? Go get me some.
Go get me some. Oh my God. Your shots are so good. Love to shoot you sometime.
Love to shoot you sometime.
Oh my God.
God damn, those are some lame ass lines, but they knew what they were doing though. That was like the best part. Like Tobey Maguire loved doing that. Like if you ever see the commentary for that movie, like he's cracking up in the background, like to all the lines and the scenes. Like see ya, champ. Oh damn, dude. I definitely want to see that. All right, so all right, here's another talking point, and this is already getting on.
Sorry, I was gonna just input my little thing for horror vibe. This is the thing, and I keep bringing this up when we're not recording. Is I'm more of a guy who consumes entertainment for interactive purposes. Like I like a movie, I see it, I probably watch it once or twice, and that's it. But for a game, the interactivity of you as the player meshing the story and the connection of you controlling the character in certain scenes or whatever you do has so much more depth and impact versus watching a show or a cartoon or a movie. So in this case, also, what are we forgetting? The DualSense controller has all those crazy features with the haptic feedback and the rumbling and the audio. If you played a game Returnal, there's a feature where the raindrops fall on the ground and you feel each pitter patter of the raindrop hitting the controller, hitting
it's insane.
The spec of the controller. If you get because they're saying it's darker than the both previous games, right? So if there's a scene, for example, in the game, Peter's tracking down Venom, where he went, what's going on, and he's like in this dark alleyway or something, like we see in the trailer, or just in this room and it's dark and you can't see anything. You feel like vibrations getting stronger and stronger in the DualSense, and then you see like the flash of the wide eyes, and just like he's in front of you and he just grabs you and just slams you across the room or something. Or I'm getting my comic book nerdiness book out here, is that in the comics, Venom is not Peter is not aware to Venom with his spider sense. He doesn't track because he's invisible to that as a side effect, since he wore the symbiote. Now it doesn't detect him because it sees him as like an ally, but he just doesn't sense Venom. Right. Or there's the ultimate version, which I think is actually really, really cool, is that Peter wore the black suit in the Ultimate Comics, and then he got off of him, and then Eddie's now wearing the black suit of what was left. And Peter's head, instead of not sensing Venom, it goes ballistic. Like it hurts him whenever he's nearby. It's like, ow, my head.
It subdues him. I have to
get away from Eddie, but I can't because he's gonna hurt people if I don't stop him. But
it subdues him. Like you can't get close to Venom. You have to do range attacks.
Yeah, so it's like,
wow.
Like, am I gonna have to throw objects, or do I have to like Miles tag in because my brain's or something, like the suit's hurting me or whatever? And like all that stuff. It's like how all that is going to flesh out the connectivity of the symbiote bonding with Peter, and if it gets off him, then it goes back onto Harry or something to form Venom, and that again, that deep connective relationship between you, the player, and the enemy with Venom, and that again, it deepens that connection than a movie can't do, because there's so much more interactivity with that, and I love stuff like that in games.
Like that.
Oh, that's
like that a lot.
You're blowing my mind, dude. That's crazy. I'm actually just thinking I'm imagining right now, like sitting there and like playing the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm visually seeing that and just
I'm saying, like, exactly, like, there's all these, like, routes that they can take. Like, it's so cool because that's, like, I don't know, like, as a comparison, like, say, for example, like, okay, No Way Home, Toby's there, Andrew's there, Electro's there, Doc Ock's there, cool, they're fighting, and then it's over, right? But then if that fight, when you're fighting Rhino as Miles in the first game, Miles' game, you control him, you feel the DualSense on the PS5, and he's, like, ramming into things, and you have to avoid the people and save the baby, and then web Rhino back down, all that stuff. So with Venom, like, he's going to go after Peter, but then he might go after, like, Rio if he's near her or something, and you have to web him, and the symbiote could affect how combat feels versus how you fight in the red suit or in the Miles' normal suit. Like, all that, incorporating it into a gameplay perspective just offers so much more capabilities and potential for a more interactive experience.
All right. I mean, dude, like, you saying that is hyping me up even more, and we're still like about a damn bloody year away from this freaking game, and I cannot wait to play it.
A year and a half.
Let's take some questions from like the chat real quick because like they're pouring in. Let me see here. Let's see. What kind of questions are there?
There's so many.
Just a lot, yeah.
Okay. Oh damn, it's a part. My cousin Chris is here. He's like, oh damn,
said black suited Spider-Man versus Kingpin in Marvel Spider-Man 2,
where he nearly kills him. I would like to see the like
a
back
in black reference.
Back in black reference. Yeah, I want that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let me go a little earlier here. Will there be customization in Marvel Spider-Man 2? Like, I guess specifically like the suits.
Like suit customization.
Yeah,
I would love
that's
a
big topic. I think people are gonna go crazy. They're gonna come up with like the weirdest colors or the weirdest shit ever. Like on.
I'm not like against it.
No, but Ronnie, don't you want like Avengers style where you have a pink Captain America and a blue freaking I don't know, Spider-Man, and he's just all pink and green? Isn't that what people want because of how good that game is?
Yeah.
Oh,
Verizon wireless.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, the 5 gum skins.
What it feels like to play Marvel Spider-Man 2? And then you're like,
when Marvel Spider-Man 2 is being made by Square Enix.
Oh my god, dude! God. No.
Give me that AT&T black suit Spider-Man skin, please. It's what everyone wants.
What if
I made a video about the customization where I'm just like, I prefer to just have unlockable
small
suits,
stuff,
but
right?
Yeah, just the little details. Like if you want to like change up your web shooters or like do something to your lenses, like I'm kind of okay with that. But like as far as like completely designing a suit,
no build a Spidey.
Yeah. Like little things, like I'm cool with.
We're about to get another super chat, guys, and it's a question from Spider-Man 1. That's what he goes by. Yeah, I think adding Gwen, normal, not Spider-Gwen, could cause an interesting love triangle with Peter, and I think making you choose could be interesting. I don't want choice features in this game. This isn't Web of Shadows. God damn it! Here we go. This isn't Web of Shadows, guys. Like
I don't like choices.
No Web of Shadows. If I want to play Web of Shadows, I'll go play Web of Shadows. But this is not Web of Shadows. I don't want that in this. Because I think it kind of detracts with the narrative that Insomniac has already set for the first 2 games. We didn't get to make decisions like that, So it's like, okay, this is weird, like new, but wasn't what I was planning to, like, hoping to see. But whatever. What would make Norman Osborn snap and become Green Goblin at the end of Spider-Man 2? I think we kind of covered that already a little bit. Harry dying, I think, and he has nothing left, and he just hits, injects himself with the serum, and that's pretty much it.
I'm something of a grieving father myself when my son.
God damn it, dude!
Somebody asked earlier.
I'm something.
We already see like the teases with the pumpkin bombs and the mask.
Yeah, that's all there. It's all Green Goblin setup.
Yeah, so they're going like classic, 616 Willem Dafoe-esque glider Goblin, not the ultimate stupid Hulk flame
with fire and wings.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Ultimate Goblin at all.
When I saw that, I'm like, Insomniac Games heavily borrowed from 616, and I think they're going to continue doing so. And I think that's for the best. For the Black Suit Spider-Man, do you think they'll install in Symbiote tentacle for you to control, like grab enemies, choke them, and throw them?
Maybe. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Have you guys all played Shattered Dimensions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Ultimate Spider-Man was so fun to
I was
play
live streaming that game too on my PC.
Tendrils and it bursts out of his chest and it comes off his entire body. Like, yeah, that was a bit like the whole point of that is that was a comic book video game, right? They embraced the comic aspect. This is interesting because this is set in like a realistic interpretation of the Marvel universe,
right?
But they still have to do something that will like really differentiate it from the first game. It's like, well, the tentacles were kind of in the first game already with the Iron Spider leg. So how are these Doc Ock tentacles that Peter now has in the sequel, in the trailer, how is that going to be any different from the suit power that they had? So this is a full-on new element that they're incorporating. And with the symbiote, yeah, are they going to do it like massive tendrils coming out, or is it going to be like Spider-Man 3 style where there were no tendrils, but he got like really more aggressive and, you know, brutal with his attacks and combos? So that's a question that I think hopefully they'll do like a bit of both. They'll keep it grounded, but still do something a bit more like eccentric with the way the symbiote operates.
You know, I mentioned earlier about how maybe Venom may not be the main antagonist, and there is a question here. There's an interesting one from Daniel Anzaldi. He asked, "What if Kraven is the main villain to fight as the black-suited Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and at the end, ditching the symbiote, it goes on Harry and it teases a Venom spin-off game like Miles?" Kind of interesting. That's actually a little interesting. What do you guys think?
I personally do not care to ever play a Venom game.
I would like to play a Venom game. Why am I alone in this?
No, you're not alone.
Okay. Wait, Ryan, did you say you do want one or don't want one?
I do want one.
You do want one.
I don't care.
Literally,
it'll be small like Miles. Yeah.
Prototype, hello everybody, is the best
DLC.
Venom game that we already have.
Wasn't Prototype supposed to originally be a Venom game?
Hey, so I'm calling it right now. Venom.
We're supposed to make a Spider-Man 4 movie tie-in game, but then you know that falled out after they did Prototype 1. But yeah, like just play Prototype and you got yourself a Venom game. But for this case, I mean, they got freaking Tony Todd to be Venom, so they got the star power. They obviously have fan interest if the first game sold as well as it did, which is the highest selling superhero game of all time.
Honestly, I think I'm going to call this, but Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, there's going to be a DLC called Lethal Protector, and I think it can transition into his own game.
Oh, okay.
I think it'll be called Watch. I think it's going to happen. It's a possibility where we get to see what Venom is up to without Spider-Man in it, and he does his own thing.
The Silver Lining DLC kind of transitioned into the Miles game. I mean, even though there was the first post-credit scene in the main game where they're upside down on the ceiling, but they had that extra little bit, like he's in the Spider-Man mask and he jumps off the roof. And then they go, he gets his own game. So that's wondering though, what if Harry dies? So how are they do that if he's gone by the end of the game and he's not around? But like Venom's so popular, so what they could do, like Eddie Brock Venom spinoff, and not Harry, but Eddie instead.
Where he's not the enemy.
All these routes, yeah, exactly. So it's sick.
All right. So how about this one? When can we expect more news about Marvel Spider-Man 2 State of Play this summer? What are your thoughts, guys?
Shout out to my boy, Stealth Gamer, Franco Greco, my boy.
He's making great content
on that exact topic. Go watch his video.
I saw that video.
He did a whole video about that going in depth when we could see it. Yeah, I think like PlayStation Showcase
this
later. I think it's safe to say, I think sometime this year.
We'll have
to wait all the way until next year to see it. I'm just wondering, like, what they're going to do is they're going to prioritize God of War Ragnarok right now as the next big PlayStation exclusive. Yeah. And then afterwards, they'll move on to what we're all looking forward to, of course, is Spider-Man. And side note, no way in hell we're getting any news on Wolverine this year. No. Sorry for anyone looking forward to that game.
2024, that game.
Probably. News next year. End of next year, probably, to be honest.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be very similar to like 2017, 2018 with the news. Like, 2017, we got a lot of shit ton of news.
God damn. Oh man, we got a couple of super chats. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Like another $2 and another $9.99 coming up from an Eddie Delgadillo. So the first one, Spider-Man one says for the map, new one, expand it or keep it the same. No, expand that shit. More boroughs.
Yeah.
We need more boroughs. We need what's it called? Brooklyn, Queens. And we need Queens, and we need
Brooklyn, Bronx,
everything.
We need all that shit. Everything.
Give it to me. All of it.
Coney Island?
At bare minimum.
Statue of Liberty Island. Yeah, that place. Yeah.
Like Brooklyn and Queens are, because like you got ties to both Miles and Peter for those.
Exactly.
Like at bare minimum, adding those would make me happy.
At least, you know.
It'd be interesting because like I've said this in multiple of my videos. Like they'll have to find a way to add in some like unique and cool traversal mechanics for like those, you know, those parts of the city, because you know they don't have massive skyscrapers, you know,
exactly,
in Queens. So
didn't on
web zipping is like great for little buildings like these.
They have a few like Queens have like this own like little city area. They have a few, but nothing like the city, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
we got a question here from Eddie. Right. Do you think that we'll get more? Did a good job
with that. They was taking you everywhere that wasn't really, you know, big and major.
You also know that's going to be like one of the big selling points of it being a PS5 exclusive is like, oh well, we weren't able to make the map that big in the last game.
They're going to talk about that. Definitely.
Don't believe since Horizon Forbidden West is right there as a cross-gen game on PS4 and PS5, and that map is massive. So
huge.
Hopefully though, like there's a lot more. Like Manhattan was sick to explore. I loved it, but yeah, now PS5 power full on exclusive. You got Manhattan, Queens.
There had to be a reason. There had to be a reason why they couldn't do it though.
These bridges, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready to cross them. Like the cars are like going, like they're going crossing the bridge, and then only they're coming back. It's so weird. And I want to see those people on the boats, like they're designed to be improved.
Right.
Oh man, yes.
I know they did it on purpose, but it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's a question from Eddie. Do you think that we'll get more routes and detours to take along our ways to certain destinations, like being able to swing through open windows, new tight gaps to go through, or through gaps of big rigs? Maybe go inside buildings.
I see what he's saying.
Wait, he means... Wait, what is it?
You see the chat right there, Eddie Delgadillo, and he donated $9.99.
He's saying swinging into like gaps, smaller gaps, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Well, what we need is that cafe scene to come back.
Dude, I'm like, where was that scene when I played the first game? I was like wondering when it was gonna happen.
I was
he just bashes through the cafe.
Like, that scene made me tear up when I first saw the trailer, bro. I'm not even kidding. In 2016, my little gambler brain freaked out. Like, we're finally getting parkour in a Spider-Man game. Holy shit! And then they just kind of did it slightly in the Mr. Negative Chase, but not as good.
Not nearly as cool.
We love you too, Stealth Gamer. He says, Stealth Gamer says, I love you guys.
Yes. But yeah, do like traversal variety, right? So I did a video on this actually. Top 5 traversal mechanics the game needs. Swing boost was one of them. Parkouring, just enhance that, elaborate further on those mechanics, make it more in depth than the first game. Just not hold R2, have it be more than that. I think another one I brought up was the slingshot, of course, so you can just shoot yourself from one point of the city to the next.
Keenan, you mentioned slingshot as well in one of your recent videos, and I'm like, yes, bring that back.
Yeah. I said I want intraversal, but I also wouldn't mind it being a part of like.
But how would it feel? Too. We would feel so much more like Spider-Man if we could just like
clothesline people. That'd be sick,
dude. We would feel so much like Spider-Man if we could just slingshot from anything. And like launch ourselves across the city.
Awesome,
dude. That'd be sick. All right, yeah, man.
Yeah, I was shocked it wasn't in the first game.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? But it's like it's in Spider-Man 2 from like 2004.
We can go back to the OG games and have like slingshot mechanics. So it's like I was really surprised.
Even like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 had it's like
Thanks for the dono, SSL.
Like they already kind of reassured me with the air tricks they had for Miles, so I'm like, they're gonna go way more
not even like slingshot across like New York, but just like if I want to
long distance
up, like
going up,
web up, pull, like shoot up. I think that'd be so cool.
That'd be sick,
especially while you're like running up the wall, and like you can actually stop and do it like Tasman 1 or whatever. Like
yeah.
Pretty sick.
SSL asks, and now this has been a burning question, and I think I did a video on this. Like with so many videos that you do, you kind of forget if you did a video or not on it. I can't remember. Where there be a black suit variant of every single suit in the game, which I doubt, and I think I remember now talking about it. I'm against that. I doubt it, and I doubt Insomniac Games is going to put a lot of work into making a black variant suit for every single damn suit in the game. Like, can you imagine all the suits from the first game plus more suits in the new one? I'm like, That's not going to happen. I think there's going to be black suit variants where we're going to get a movie Spider-Man black suit, a comic Spider-Man black suit, an Insomniac Games original black suit, and whatever. So depending which black suit you decide to choose, whenever you wear the black suit, it'll be that one that you selected from the menu. That's what I'm thinking.
I kind of have a not super differing opinion.
Go ahead.
Okay, so like,
yeah.
Let's say for example, I don't know, classic suit. Like, let's just say I love using the classic suit or whatever suit. If I find a suit in the sequel to Spider-Man PS4 that I love using, me personally, I'm going to end up using the new advanced suit. But whatever other suit it is, I love using that. Within the story, Peter's going to get the symbiote. It's going to attach to, I'm assuming, would it not attach to the suit that I love wearing and the suit that I want to wear throughout this game? Why? Or do I have to go into the menu and then choose a black suit, or am I having to stick with whatever one the story gives me? You know what I'm saying?
I think I don't think that's going to be the case, because in the first game, whatever suit you're wearing, like during the cutscenes, it's that suit. So I think whenever you turn into the black suit of your choice, like it'll be the black suit of your choice that you picked in the menu. It wouldn't like there'd be a continuity error if it went back to like the original black suit.
So like my issue, or where I'm not like understanding it, is like I said, let's say I'm using the classic suit. Now the story kind of progresses or whatever. Is what if there is no black suit, classic suit, to choose from?
I see what you're saying.
So now I have to go do I have to go to the menus and look at my suits to see what options of black suits I can choose from at that point in time? Or is like in the story, like, because I'm gonna want to see the symbiote attach itself in like Spider-Man 3 style, like onto my suit. So if I'm using that suit that I love wearing through my campaign, is it gonna like switch the suit that I have on to like match that symbiote version? Like that's my confusion. So when people say that, or the rumor came out that there is a symbiote version of every suit, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because if I like
crazy rumor though
using this suit, okay, obviously I want there to be a black version of that because that's the one I like using during the game.
I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about it. But
do we even know where those rumors came from?
They were just on the internet, like random. They're very random.
Dude, trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
All right. So we got 2 donos while we were talking about the black suit stuff. Thank you guys. You're gonna make me afford gas easily. I appreciate you. So Kenneth Davey asked, how do you guys feel about another hero team up in maybe DLC or a mission? Many people say Daredevil, but I like to hype to see anyone, to be honest. To answer that question, I doubt we're going to see any other kind of Marvel character. We're going to see Spider-Man related heroes. So Black Cat and Silver Sable are in the Spider-Man related superheroes. We're not going to see like Luke Cage or Daredevil or anything like that, because it's not a Spider-Man character, even though they're Marvel. I doubt we're going to see that. It seems to be very strict to that. Like they're pulling a like PlayStation is pulling a Spider-Man character Sony verse movie kind of thing, but they're applying it to the game. So I doubt we're going to see it. What do you guys think?
I doubt it.
You can still play Marvel's Avengers if that's your god.
Screw that game. I'm using it as my
don't have anything to worry about if you want that. But yeah, it's like like I'm sure we'll get more cool Easter eggs, but like the cool like, hey, wait, if he knew I was Spider-Man, like whatever, like with the Daredevil Matt Murdock lawyer card, like that was cool. And Danny Rand Industries, Iron Fist, Rand Incorporated, the Avengers Towers right there. So all that stuff could be done again. But I mean, we still don't know, and people they've never officially said yes or no to this, so it kind of irritates me when people say they confirmed it. We still have no idea if Wolverine is in the same universe as Spider-Man. They're being made by the
They
same
said yes,
developer,
though. They said yes, didn't they?
No, they said
they
we're
didn't.
now honored to make an original world with Spider-Man and now Wolverine. So we don't know if that means it's in the same world together or if they're two separate worlds.
Damn it!
You know what? How about this? Same world in the fact that Insomniac made both games, but different universe.
But the thing is, if they are connected, I already have this like whole vision set out. So Spider-Man 2 ends, Harry dies, Venom's gone, all that, and then the first post-credit scene is teasing Norman Osborn becoming Green Goblin. That's the setup for Marvel's Spider-Man 3. Because there's always 2 post-credit scenes at the end of both these games.
Right.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is showing what Wolverine's up to. And then it's like, boom, continue the story in Marvel's Wolverine. And then boom, that's your confirmation that they are in the same world. Still not officially confirmed yet, but that if they're gonna bring anyone this game, they would tease Wolverine to set up the next game and then go from there. And we still don't know what Insomniac's multiplayer game is, because they are making a multiplayer game. Is that another Marvel property? Is it an X-Men game? Is it a Fantastic Four game?
It's got to be X. It's got to be. I think it's X-Men, because
they got to set breadcrumbs to
tease
tease up what their future projects are if they're all Marvel stuff. So that's going to be really exciting.
Spider-Man, again, it seems to be my guy when it comes to like giving the
number one Spider-Man fan of
Spider-Man 1. He asked, how do you think the black suit can affect stealth? I'm thinking that there will be a camouflage ability in the stealth in the black suit to like compete with Miles, because Miles has
have you guys played Horizon Forbidden West?
I have.
Godly,
right?
One of the greatest games I ever played in my life.
One of the best games I've ever. The Poseidon mission where you're under the city that's flooded and you're swimming in the. So that whole game, if those of you haven't played in the chat, that whole sequence where you're Aloy and you have the breathing apparatus and you can dive as far as you want.
That shit was godly.
That's one of the best gaming things I've ever witnessed in my life.
It looks like a beautiful sequence. It looks like a beautiful sequence.
It is gorgeous. And if they do something like that, like, they're probably not going to make Spider-Man like in a scuba suit, for example. But I'm saying, like, if they do something like that, like that is such, that's such a unique way to incorporate swimming mechanics into a game where the main goal is just to travel around and explore, right? But for Spider-Man, you want to swing, you want to crawl, you want to fight, you want to sneak around or be more stealthy if you're encountering a bunch of guys with guns. But having those abilities with Spider-Man, incorporating it in these new settings where Peter and Miles will have their abilities tested by these newer enemies is going to have a lot more opportunity to, make gameplay that much more strategic for people. Like, how am I going to approach this fight with these guys? Should I stealth in, or should I swing in, or tag team with Miles and Peter, or should I do it this way? All these, hopefully they give the players enough options to choose from when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah. Evan and Joseph, you got a question from Dante Cintrone. He asks, hey, Evan and Witty.
Thanks, Dante.
Do you think that Peter is going to fight the Prowler? He's been asking this question for quite a bit.
Yeah, he's asked me this before.
I've been monitoring the chat for a while, reading your questions, guys. So I'm sorry again if I can't get to your questions. He asked it again recently now.
He's like, do it.
He's trying to get our attention with like the fingers crossed emoji.
I see.
Well, it's working.
What do you think, Joseph and Evan?
Don't think so.
I don't see it.
I'm sorry. Joseph, you go. I already talked long enough.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joseph.
No, me personally, I really just don't see it right now. I just don't see it in this game, to be honest, because I feel like that. I mean, it wouldn't really be a like serious focus on the Prowler. Like, I just don't see it happening right now. Like, maybe later.
Yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man 3 or something. I just don't see it. Me personally.
Did he not turn himself in at some point in time, like at the end of the Miles game?
I don't remember. I gotta go back.
He claimed he was gonna do it, but he didn't do it. I think, right?
He stopped Troy Baker from taking over the world, so he put himself, or he turned himself in to stop the Simon Krieger from
Krieger was a dickhead.
All that.
No, that was Eddie Brock from Spider-Man 3.
How I can't see, like, unless they do bring him back, I have no idea. But like, I wouldn't see Miles fighting Doc Ock, right? Because that's a Peter tailored villain. So Prowler is all about Miles's connection. Which shout out to Hobie Brown, who doesn't seem to get any love as Prowler nowadays. It's always Aaron Davis. But I think it would be if they've already kind of concluded that arc or that narrative surrounding the Prowler in Miles' game. We could get like an Easter egg with him in 2 and like, oh, hi, Uncle Aaron from prison. What's going on? But I don't think we would see like him break out and fight or maybe, I don't know. It's, that is a good question. But I think for now, I would say no. I think they concluded it in a good way.
He did turn himself in. Aaron did turn himself in. He got a reduced 2 years, reduced sentence.
Yeah, he redeemed himself.
That's it? Okay,
as well.
Cool.
He redeemed himself, so it wouldn't make sense like I'm gonna break out and fight my nephew again and his mentor. So
especially when you only have 2 years, like it's still a long time, but still 2 years to a person like that, he'll be out.
Play bingo in the meantime.
So here's an interesting question, right? I have a brain fart. Sorry. So anyways, Analog Maneuver asks, can we please talk about traversal? Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is because somebody in the comment section, I'll never forget who this person is, and I'm not going to say their name, trying to challenge me, saying like, how the hell does the black suit affect the swinging traversal and everything like that? I'm like, dude, have you not seen like Spider-Man 3 and the comics and the show? Like, what do you mean? How the hell it does it? Like, he's stronger, faster, and everything.
Have you not played Web of Shadows?
Duh.
Where they literally show that exact thing that happens.
Exactly.
Like even the slightest detail. Like just a shout out to Web of Shadows for being so good with handling the duality of that suit.
My god, yeah.
Whenever when Spider-Man's just standing still, his stance is different in the suit. His landings are different.
They're more aggressive.
Web zipping is more aggressive. Instead of like doing a stylish little twist and flip, he just kind of launches himself straight forward and just like, I'm going for it. And it's like, that's sick. So yeah, it's the exaggerated swagger of a black suited Spider-Man we all need. They have all those opportunities and blueprints to look at. Like, this is how they're not going to copy it 1-to-1, of course, but it's like, if a game from 2008 can give that much variety of how the black suit operates at the press of a button, then there's no excuse for them not to do it here.
I was in college when that game came out, and I remember playing it, and I'm like, this is the greatest Spider-Man game I've played.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old when that game came out.
You little baby.
Yeah, I know, bro.
Let's see.
Like, I just want to add to like basically to what Evan was saying. Like, when you had the black suit on for this game, I want to see just like some brand new animations, different from the ones that we're getting, in the red and blue suit. Like, I want to see different fighting animations. I want to see different traversal animations, like specifically for when you have the black suit on, just to give you a different feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, me too. I want to feel it too. I want to feel the sensation on the remote and everything. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's a nice one here's a good one that I really like talking about personally. This question's for both you, Evan and Witty, from again Dante's in Throne. He asks, do you guys think Peter is going to fight Miles in the black suit? And I think it's going to happen, but it's going to be so off-putting because I don't think we've ever seen an aggressive, stubborn, hard-headed, stupid Peter Parker where like he's so mean and everything like that. I think that's going to happen where Miles is going to be the morality, like the moral person in this game as well for like a certain portion of the game where he's trying to convince Peter, you got to take it off. You're the science whiz. You would know better that this is not the right choice. And then Peter's gonna be like, oh, what? So just because you're Spider-Man, you're gonna like be the next Spider-Man or something? And there's gonna be a conflict, and then they're gonna fight. They're gonna duke it out. I think something like that's gonna happen.
Miles is probably gonna be saying, Peter, this is not you, while fighting him and swinging and all type of crazy nonsense.
Oh man, that's scary.
Yuri Lowenthal is gonna bring out his inner Sasuke. And I can't wait.
Yes, he is.
Different
Sasuke
voice acting in that.
That's
and he's like,
amazing.
You're weak, Miles. You've always been weak. And it's like, ooh, okay, give me that, please. Yeah. So, yeah, the interesting question is not if it's going to happen, because I think 1,000% it's going to happen. The main question is, who will you play as in that sequence? Will you play as Miles trying to fight Peter and save him, or will you literally just be Peter beating the crap out of Miles? And it's like,
imagine.
Whoa. Or will you do both? Like, will you like Peter's like, what the hell? What's happening to me? Like, this is not me. And then he realizes it mid-fight, and then you switch. with the seamless SSD of the PS5.
Oh my god, it's gonna be
baby.
beautiful.
They're gonna do that. So they'll just
Speaking of which, I gotta buy a new M.2. I need to buy a new M.2 SSD because I need more space for the Marvel Spider-Man 2. By the time that game comes out.
How much terabyte did you get?
Well, no, I have the 800. I mean, the regular one. I don't have the external storage.
Oh, you don't have that extend.
I want to buy it though, and I found one that I'm gonna buy actually very soon.
I had to delete Ghost of Tsushima for my PS5 just to make space for other stuff.
I'm gonna buy a terabyte so I can have the extra storage, and I can put all the games from the PS4 to my PS5.
Yeah, it's super easy to install.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I did it on video on stream. It was super easy. So yeah, it's definitely convenient.
I gotta say, guys, Eddie Brock has entered the chat, and he asks me, like, do you guys think the symbiote will die by the end of Spider-Man 2, or do you think it will find a way to Eddie Brock?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Honestly, I don't know whether it's a double-edged sword for me, because I don't know whether it's a cop-out or not if the symbiote should die at the end of the game. I think Venom should be a mainstay because, you know, he has his own spin-off comic. He's a hero. He's an anti-hero now in the comics. He's got a good story going on. He has 2 trash movies. I think he should be a mainstay where he becomes the Lethal Protector, just like he is in the comics. I mean, like what's his name that wrote Donny Cates wrote a great, phenomenal, fun Venom story in the comics, and I think they should do something like that where they should give him an entirely new origin. And speaking of origin, that allows me to segue to another question: what kind of an origin will this be? I have an idea that this is already a lab created kind of symbiote. It's not. They're not going with the alien route. So that's just my thing. What do you guys think?
I agree with that.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, like what kind of stories could they fabricate with, like, you know, with a lab origin? Like,
you mean like if they go like the ultimate route and they have no like,
exactly. Yeah.
Because it's so weird because it's odd. Okay. This is weird because I'm such a nerd. Have you guys read the War of the Symbiotes Ultimate comic storyline?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Don't waste your time with it because it's utter trash. But what that was Brian Michael Bendis.
I heard it was not good.
He tried to canonize the Ultimate Spider-Man game in the comic lore.
What?
But he just he tried to make the same story from the game, but he made it 10 times worse. And in that, it kind of like he backpedaled a bit where he's like, yeah, the symbiote was a suit manufactured biologically from Peter and Eddie's dad's, and it uses Peter's dad's DNA as a starting palette to enhance the user's body and all this stuff. Scientifically explained, right? No alien entity whatsoever.
Right.
Then it's like, there's this self-conscious brain that the suit has in the comics out of nowhere. Like, what are you doing? So it was weird how he handled it in that
it's
story.
So random.
So here it's like, yeah, would it be like, because he says we in the trailer in Marvel Spider-Man 2, yes, we will. So we is already a clear factor in that. And it's like, if they go the alien route, would that be too out the wazoo crazy? Or
that'd be so random and out of left field. It wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, like, but then if you work back, because then you could understand, like, well, actually they kind of teased it, is that whole science center level in Miles where they're looking at space exploration and beyond the stars, what's out there. And that whole time when that scene was happening, I was looking for any symbiote Easter eggs. Like, what is there going to be, like a little black splotch on the shuttle there? Or is John Jameson out there right now doing space stuff? Like, what the fuck? So I was like so hyped when that scene happened. Like, what's happening? And then like they didn't answer anything, which is fine. But now it's like, yeah, would they have to explain now, but would they go the comic classic alien route or do a more modern take on it with the ultimate route, which is what I hope they do, because that story in the Ultimate Comics, the Venom classic story, is excellent. So if they do that, yeah, just do it their own way and give it that twist, that Insomniac twist that they've done with Venom right now, and seeing how he did Doc Ock and all that. So, and Tinkerer even too. So there's a lot of opportunities here. I can't see any outcome where they mess it up that badly, but I just hope that they like understand what makes the symbiote, like Joseph Wade and I did a video about what makes a symbiote so special,
right? And
analyze that from a narrative perspective in their own universe and what they've set up so far, and don't like out of left field, like come in like, here's the Clintar, here's Null, here's
that doesn't make any sense. Like, no, man, that's way too much to take at one shot, man.
So that is like too much. So they have to do something that's realistically expecting to happen from the perspective of the universe.
All right. That's that definitely it wouldn't make sense to just throw all of that at us and it's like too much, too distracting.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question. Carlos Del Alvarado asks, what do you guys think of the new advanced suit with the Iron Spider legs? I think it looks sick. The new advanced suit looks beautiful. The new one. The red is right. The red is perfect. What, Evan? What's going on? Evan, what's up? What do you got?
I'm gonna get flamed. Get ready to cancel me,
Oh
guys.
hell no! I'm about to disconnect. I'm about to hang your ass up now.
You're gonna kick me out of the chat. Gonna block me on social media. Report me to the authorities.
Nah, man, come on, Evan. Please don't do this to me, dude.
No,
it's just two minor things.
I agree with you.
It's two minor things.
You're fired.
You're fired. String them up by his web. So two things. Just one, I've never been a fan of the Iron Spider legs as a mainstay.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Retractable, and in that shot, in the trailer right there, you don't see it on him forever.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
An optional thing. So I hope it's just not like a handicap. And clearly, since Peter's so smart in this universe, he made that instead of like Iron Man making it for him. He clearly made that and utilized the technology that Doc Ock was using for his tentacles onto the suit. So now he made the tentacles for him to help make him a better Spider-Man. The second thing, the minor thing, is that even Keenan has the figure right there of the Advanced Suit 1.0 in the first game, is that there's no leg stripes anymore, dude. They got rid of the
no leg stripes.
Racing leg stripes on his legs.
Blue legs is better. Blue legs is better.
What they did, they have Miles. He has now the cool racing stripe red on his suit.
I think that looks pretty nice.
Thing. And now they got rid of the thing completely on Peter's legs. So they're adding more for Miles, but taking away from Peter. I'm like, why would you do that? So it's like, it's just a small thing, but I love the red. It looks so slick and
the eyes look nice too, man. The eyes look beautiful.
The white spider is now fully on the red instead of kind of getting out of on the blue, which I did like, but now it's all on the red.
Yeah.
And the arms, they don't have the cutoff anymore, so it's now just a full red sleeve. On the shoulder only, but not on the mid arm. But yeah, I just missed the red racing stripes on the legs. I thought that's always been a cool thing with Spider-Man having something on his legs, because now it's a bit too blue, in my opinion. Just a bit too blue, but
ocean blue.
It still looks sick. That's just minor Spider fanboy nitpicks from me, but it looks sick. That's gonna be my main suit, Keenan too. The advanced suit's my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time.
Yeah,
beautiful.
All right,
you can see from behind me. But yeah, it's like the new version of it, and how they're gonna look at it in the black suit. The advanced black suit.
Oh my god, it's gonna look really
not
sick.
Ready for that.
So
not
sexy.
Ready for that at all.
Evan about to get canceled harder than Amber Heard.
Bro, not that hard.
That's what this Nike guy said. This Carlos Del Alvarado said.
Someone said call the FBI.
Call the FBI.
Yeah, call the FBI. The Gurin Lang guy says, hey. And then
hey.
he just says, hey. Yeah, they were also saying like there should have been some sort of cutoff on the arm though. Let's see. I like the new advanced suit compared to the one from the PS4. I agree. I think it's it's an improved suit, especially on the eyes. It looks great. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Do you guys see any questions that you want to answer on the chat?
Let's see.
I just thought of something, but I forgot it.
Keenan, you got anything
there? That's the worst when you forget. It's like, damn it.
Was it about the suit? No.
You find anything there, Keenan?
Okay, wait. I was just gonna say, at the very least, because we see Peter has the classic suit in the first game, and you can wear that whenever you want, right? And then he upgrades to the advanced suit. I'm hoping that for the sequel, even though it's such a small switch in the design, I hope you can wear the standard Miles suit, because some people may not like the red full-on racing stripe on Miles' new suit versus how it's just like a little triangular shape on the shoulders. Hopefully you do have the option to choose which version of the suit you want to wear in the sequel. So like, I want to wear the advanced suit from the first game versus the advanced suit from the second game.
I'm sure they have them both on there.
Guys, I think Spider-Man 1 really like has infinite money. He's about to make me rich. Like, dude, like, man, that gas money's looking pretty good right now.
Gas money.
Yeah, man, these gas prices, bro, they're so freaking high, dude. He asks, how do you think the boss fights can be improved? I think there's so much opportunities with boss fights. I honestly, even though I love Spider-Man, the first game, the boss fights are repetitive because there is a bit of a pattern as far as how to fight them, and you would think that the AI is a lot smarter than that and they can figure it out. So I'm just hoping it'd be a little bit more challenging in the sequel. What do you guys think?
I didn't mind the boss fights in the first game. I thought they were
good.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty solid. But yeah, I mean, like my first playthrough, there were like times I died. Now it's to the point where I put it on ultimate difficulty.
Hey, you don't have to put effort.
And I'm like, I know exactly what I need to do to win this fight, like, without taking any damage, because it's just like you said, the pattern.
Yeah.
So like the AI doesn't do anything like unique to switch it up when it comes to like replayability.
Exactly.
I'll be humble here. I died like at least 2 to 3 times fighting Tinkerer in Miles.
Really?
I don't know what it was. It was like
Tinkerer was pretty
much. And I completely forgot. I don't know why. I was just Miles can turn invisible. I don't know why I totally forgot about
that. Always forget that
move. So I'm like, because she throws all the buzz saws at you in her whip, and she can just reach you from out of nowhere, and she keeps throwing you. I'm like, stop, Finn. And then I forgot. You can just freaking go invisible, and she can't see you. But I never thought to do that because I forgot you could do it during that fight. But that was where you see like the
FBI open up
kind of team up, even where you can team up with Tinkerer to fight the Roxxon guards and Rhino and all that, which was sick. So I'm expecting that again for Miles and Peter, but also hopefully for Black Cat and Peter. Again, do it like in the first game if she returns. And yeah, just add more, add more depth, add more layers to the fights to make them more intriguing and more challenging, because there's a lot of opportunity there to like maybe change up the scenery. What they did in the final thing, like you go from level to level of the Roxxon building. And then in the first game, you're just like, let me fight Rhino and Scorpion in the pier or wherever they were, the shipping yard. And then Mr. Negative in the train, which was one of my favorite boss fights in that whole game. Which was
amazing. I like that one. That was fun.
And then the Doc Ock fight, like you're on the top of the Oscorp building, but then you're on the side of the building, and then you all that. So that was more cinematic though. But yeah, add more variety. Just add more layers to the boss fights, more phases. I don't know if you guys play Genshin Impact, but there's phases for each of the main bosses. The domain bosses that they call them, like the Raiden Shogun has like a normal phase, and then she gets like 2 swords, and then she gets like an extra pair of arms and stuff. Like
that's how Sifu is.
Kind of like like Elden Ring does that too. Like there's all like there's different steps to the boss's fighting maneuvers, and then they have new patterns. There's new combos you have to block or avoid. So get more in depth with it, get funky with it. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Do y'all think they should add like a harder difficulty, because Ultimate is pretty easy?
Like, how about Superior? Yeah.
Ooh.
Superior mode.
If they just make the Ultimate difficulty more challenging.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like the Ultimate difficulty in playing through the DLC gave me a lot of trouble. Like,
the DLC is harder. The Ultimate difficulty in DLC is harder. Yes, that is right.
You got these guys, like
the Sable Goons.
The Sable guys are so annoying.
And then they got these like freaking boosters flying around with like flames on the ground. I'm like, God,
it gave me a little trouble.
And then they got the brutes coming out with like the heavy, like
the mini guns.
They had me using the gadgets that I never used, like the concussive blast and the suspension matrix. Like, just take all of it, just spam R1 until the gadget wheel's empty. So it's like,
that's true. That is true.
That's a scenario though where they just kind of did it to do it. There was no real. I mean, there was obviously thought put into it, but it's like everything that Peter can do can't really get on par with everything that they're throwing at you with the whip guys, who are the worst enemies in the whole game.
I hated those guys. You can't touch them if
the
they
Gatling
touch
gun guys, the minigun guys, who are
I hate those guys too.
To take down. So it's like
just the guys that slam down with the jetpacks are annoying, because you didn't do it.
Oh my God! Yeah, they're so annoying. Yeah, they were.
It hurts.
Yeah, man. That's the only thing that bothered me.
Yeah,
really.
they're so annoying. Definitely, I hated the minigun guys and I hated the whipping guys. You cannot touch them if they touched you, and also every time you want to web them, they just like destroy it.
Yeah.
I'm
They
like,
ruin
F,
your flow too.
I'm like, screw
Yeah,
you,
it's like-
like, damn it.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask. Okay, Keenan, I want to ask you something. I
Sure.
wanted to know your input on this one. Do you think we'll be able to switch between Peter and Miles freely? And I've already covered this in some of my videos. So what do you think?
I hope not. I really want to just. Well, at the same time, like, if the player wants to do that, that's fine. I know for me, like, if they do give me the option to switch between them and choose who I want to use first for missions, like at any point during the game, I don't really care to do that. I'm gonna stick with Peter because this is like this. I want to experience his story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, something came up in one of my comments that I thought was like really, a unique take on that whole scenario is that having a playthrough with Peter on this game, and then maybe either a DLC or an option to experience this game through Miles' perspective. And I was like, that's pretty unique, and I like that idea for the most part. But when it comes to like choosing Spider-Man, I'm like, I don't really care to. I'm gonna stick with Peter. So
yeah,
I guess
me too. It's very much a Peter Parker story. I think it's a very much Peter Parker story.
And if they give people the option, like it's not gonna bother my experience at all. I'm gonna just be like, all right, well, I'll still do what I planned on doing to begin with and use Peter. So yeah, I mean,
and I brought this up with my buddy High Ruler, where we did a video just discussing our concerns about the game. What we're kind of worried about right now is that this is the official sequel to the first game, not Miles's game. Even though Miles had the story, you could, in all honesty, play Spider-Man PS4 / Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and go straight to the sequel, Marvel Spider-Man 2, without playing Miles, because it was already teased at the end of the first game that Miles got bit by the spider, and you can just piece together like, oh, then he becomes Spider-Man. Then so you don't have to play Miles to get that, but of course it helps, and you'll be playing as both of them. So that adds a whole new layer of depth. But this, for the story, it should be, like Keenan said, Peter Parker first and foremost, his story and his narrative continuing with Miles still there, but as a side individual. But it's still about Peter and his relationships with him and Venom and all that. And yeah, the dynamic between the duality of being Spider-Man, but also the symbiote and how that could affect his livelihood. So all that's going to be a lot of them for them to juggle, but I think they can do it really well.
Miles have his own game for a reason. So they're going to make a second Miles game eventually. I could see that happening for sure.
Yeah, Miles 2, baby.
Yeah.
We're ready.
All right.
I want to see Kangaroo get his ass whooped.
Like
the comments, that shit was funny.
What I'm imagining is the brutality that Peter is gonna have when he has the black suit and like fighting enemies like Kraven. I like that's another thing. Is Kraven even in the game, even though his voice is a damn dead giveaway?
Yeah.
What if it's somebody else?
Is
like
it me,
Dr.
or
Doom?
does it sound like that Kraven is voiced by the same guy who voices Lazarevich in Uncharted 2?
I never played the Uncharted games, dude.
If they casted him as Kraven, it's over.
That's true.
Game of the year. They already got Tony Todd as Venom, so if they double down, say, here's Lazarevich as Kraven.
Bro, you just literally like, yeah. It just came back to my brain like that once you said that.
Because it sounded similar when I like played back footage of him talking versus the trailer narration. Like, is that the same guy? I don't know, but if it is, that's I'm gonna freak out because I love
Uncharted 2. So good. Let me stop. The series is so good.
That's my favorite Uncharted game.
I've never played the Uncharted game.
Oh,
yeah,
Johnny!
Oh, it's okay. Just play 2.
Yeah, Uncharted 2 is the best one.
It's the best one.
I'm sorry, guys.
Well, let's
Flash Blitz, thank you for the dono. Do you guys think they should take inspiration on take moves from Spider-Man Web of Shadow swinging? I think, I mean, honestly, it's fair to say that Insomniac Games has taken inspiration from previous Spider-Man games, and they implemented it in their main game. What do you guys think?
They even taken, stuff from TASM series, like the movies as well. So it's like, I mean,
dude,
Yes and no.
I want a I'm already in full health reference in the new one. You ever played the Spider-Man?
It's already at full health.
It's like, but Peter Parker comes across a med kit, like what's this doing here? But I'm already in full health, so I don't really need this.
That would be cool. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm already at full health. Laying down on a job, Parker.
Spider-Wuss. If we don't get a
Spider-Wuss, come out and play. So it was like it sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger on like meth and bath salts. Can you imagine? I got the black suit now. I am Venom. I'm going to eat your brains.
Are we gonna surf the web? Oh my god!
Surf the web, surf the web, surf the web.
It's so good.
Oh my god!
Yeah, are we gonna get see? That's the thing, because we've already had Goofy, Lethal Protector, Venom in 2 movies.
That's
now.
heavily on the comics, man. That's Goofy Venom.
I understand that, but it's like I've always loved when he's just full on villain Venom, where he's just like,
gruesome.
That's always been my favorite interpretation, because it's just like Batman and Joker are yin and yang, and I feel like that's the same thing for Spider-Man and Venom. I know there's a lot of debate. Is it Green Goblin in Spider-Man, or is it Doc Ock in Spider-Man? I've always felt Venom is that, because Venom exists because of Spider-Man's fault. It's because of his lack of just respect for himself, just being able to be capable of doing what he's doing, but also that he lets it consume him as he is as a person, not just him as Spider-Man, but him, Peter Parker, morally, and it challenges him to such a deep level. And I want them to focus so deeply on that part of him. And then Brian Intar gets that fully based on that little interview that we saw with Greg Miller. He's like, he gets it. And I think that they're going to go that route. Like, this is something that I'm responsible for, just like Otto was with the tentacles, but like more on a deeper level than we could think of right now, since it's Harry in the suit and not just this jackass Eddie, as a reporter, like, I thought I thought we were friends at the Daily Bugle before, Eddie.
When are you gonna give a guy
Harry
a break?
is dying, and he's gonna hurt people if he lets the suit overwhelm him, but he has to stop him because he doesn't want him to hurt anybody, but it's his best friend. So you see that, like, all what I just said right there, there's all those layers to it. There's all those detailed elements to the character interactions and relationships between Peter and Harry that they can do and explore with this game and its story. And that is what intrigues me the most as a fan of these games and this world that they've built, because there's so much more opportunity there than just making it Eddie with Harry instead.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Like, I'm so excited.
Stuff, guys.
Exactly. Evan is very insightful when it comes to this. He was made to be a content creator.
All
right. Any thoughts on how they're going to introduce Wraith in the game? Maybe DLC again.
I think like finishing up the DLC.
Go ahead.
Would be nice.
Yeah. What do you think, Keenan? How do you think?
I think like I actually made like a video on like top DLCs I'd want to see, and like it was between like seeing either Morbius, because there was like a little bit of setup with
is
Morgan
Morbius
Michaels.
in the game?
Yeah, or just the continuation of Yuri's story, because I thought that was really well set up in the DLC. Like, not everything in the DLC was perfect, but anything to do with like Yuri was like, I was all for it. So, but at the same time, I'm not sure it deserves to, like, I don't know if it has a spot within the story of this main game. So
exactly, yeah.
Having it as a DLC, I'd be all for it, and just continuing that would be sick.
If they bring back Screwball, I'm gonna cry.
No,
Please don't bring
Screwball DLC.
Wait, hold on. Screwball is the best villain ever.
Main villain confirmed.
Yeah.
For Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Think about 30.
I'm sorry. Did I say the best villain ever? She's the best villain to kick their ass. Like that. That's what it is. You want to knock out a villain, just kick Screwball's ass.
She's gonna be the partner that Peter and Miles have.
You know what? Forget Screwball.
The tag team element.
Forget Screwball. Bring Big Wheel. There you go. That's like the greatest villain.
Yeah,
ever.
Baby. Let's go.
Bring him in the game, man. He's the greatest villain in the
Racer.
Big
Wheel. The Wall.
The Wall.
Stiltman.
The
Bring
Spot.
All these. Yeah. Yes.
JP asked, "Hey everyone, keep up the amazing." Oh wow, another dono and another dono. Hey everyone, keep up the good work. With a $10 dono, I want your all opinion on the suits. Spectacular Spider-Man red and all 3 black suits from the '90s Spider-Man black and red suits. What do you think? I mean, the original black suit had a red logo.
I want to know. Oh, just like what we feel about.
Yeah, what do you feel about another dono from Spider-Man one? Just giving me all the donos. Spider-Man.
Spectacular red, all 3.
What do you mean by that?
Suits. 90s Spider-Man black and red. Oh, he means because the black suit in the Spectacular series changes over time. Yeah, so it has like the classic.
It does evolve. It does.
Black and the silver webs, and then kind of goes away, and then
it becomes more black with the white.
Yeah,
and everything.
Which I actually want them to do in this game. I think that would be sick.
There's going to be so many black suits in this game, dude. Oh, you think the advanced suit would change over time? It would
That's
become
what I'm
all
talking
black.
About. Like if it just like if they do like the Raimi verse thing where it's like it's just the advanced suit but black and white, you know, like okay, cool. But then over time, the white logo changes. It gets more vicious looking.
Yeah, like spreading out, like it's growing.
Yeah, like the tentacles start coming out during combat. Like woo! Yeah. Oh,
that's gonna be. Oh my god, it's gonna be so sexy, dude. It's gonna be really sexy.
And then the '90s suit, Spider-Man black and red suit, or the black. Yeah, the '90s show. Ronnie Pug, shout out to him. Won that the '90s classic black suit for his top #1 black suit in the game.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Definitely. You got a new one with nuts?
Go make me some.
Go make me some.
Man.
Oh man, I'm never gonna let that live up. You know, let them.
What was the other chat from Spider-Man? I'm sorry.
Spider-Man one because we already got like about another good 5 minutes. I know you guys don't like the choice aspect I said before, but would you guys like having Gwen in the game and having a love triangle with Peter? I don't know, man. It's too much of a distraction for me. What do you guys think?
I don't really care for a love triangle.
Unless Black Cat.
Unless I do, I'm a super fan of Gwen, so I would love to see her introduced in this universe at some point in time in any capacity, whether that's just a love interest down the line or maybe set up a Spider-Gwen game down the line. Like, I'd be all for it, but I feel like it's just a little too soon right now.
It is.
They teased her to be alive. I'm freaking like stunned that they actually got away with saying that because they asked, or someone asked them on Twitter, Insomniac, like, "Hey, how did the death of Gwen Stacy impact Peter?"
Who said she was dead? Right?
And they flat out responded directly from their account. Who said Gwen Stacy's dead on a universe? ? So it's like, are you serious right now? So if they do bring her in and then just to kill her off, like the death of Gwen Stacy, style, like. Wow, that'd be intense. So I have no idea, but they've already established a really dynamic relationship with MJ and Peter, and they just got back pretty much by the end of the first game. And then Miles's game, like they had that trip to Symkaria, which hopefully strengthened their relationship. And now I think she's moving in with him in Aunt May's house in Queens, so that already sets up that Queens is going to be explorable in the next game.
I think they're going to
because of that.
They're going to probably pull a fast one where they're going to make the bold choice of killing Mary Jane and Gwen is the next love interest instead of Gwen being the dead one.
Whoa!
They're going to give her the Aunt May treatment. Twist. I think that's a bold ass twist, dude. Oh my god! I swear to God, if that happens, my soul will exit this, this life. And go in and transcend into another dimension. I'm like, what have they done? And I'm just flying away and like, what have they done?
Like
but I like it. Foretold. I like it. I dig it. It's different. It's new. It's bold.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! Like I will die.
Chat, clip the clip.
They're gonna do the sheesh. I'm like, what have I witnessed? Oh my god, dude, that's gonna be sick, man. Oh man, wow. Guys, it's been a really fun night. It's been fun talking to y'all.
It's been awesome.
Thank you so much. Does anybody
Thank you
want
for having us?
No problem. You guys were great, man. Do you guys want to read any more other last questions before we take off? I know some pretty good ones here. I know people have been dying to get their questions answered here.
With over 100 viewers too, thank you all for watching this.
We peaked at 130. Yeah, we peaked at 130.
That's insane. Man.
Nice,
nice.
We should start a podcast.
Definitely.
The Marvel Spider-Man 2 podcast.
The Spidey Boys. The Spidey Boys podcast. The Spidey boys.
That'd be pretty cool. Like all of our subscribers, like
Witty, we still gotta do that Among Us charity live stream.
Oh, we do have to do that.
Oh wait, I just got it. Join us. We can call the podcast. We can call the podcast the Web Dome.
The Web Dome.
Ooh,
Web Dome. Yeah, like Spider-Man's Web Dome ability when he covers himself. I want that move to come back.
Shout out to. I feel so bad about this because we, the Spidey Squad and I, like the main guys, Vigilante Spider, Spidey Bugle, we always try and connect with each other, but we live literally all around the world, so it's so hard for us to try and connect simultaneously. We had our podcast planned out. We only did one episode, and we never did it again because we've been so busy, sadly. And this was years ago, but we had it as the Parker Luck Podcast.
Oh wow, Parker Luck Podcast. That's a damn good name, dude. Holy shit!
It's a good name, but we never did. I'm like, that hurts. So. One of these days. We'll bring it back once the news comes out. Why not? We'll revive it one of these days.
You know what we got to do? Somebody mentioned that they feel like they're in a Comic-Con by watching us talk and stuff like that. That was really nice. Very cool. I think that was Magdypool that said that. I actually want to meet all of you guys in person at a con or something, and we got so we can meet our viewers. But somewhere out there, I don't know where, depending where the con's happening. I don't know if you guys are Evan, you're in California. Witty, where are you at?
Yes, sir.
I'm in Atlanta, but at this point, I'll be flying everywhere now. So
yeah, I'm right beneath you, dude. I'm in Florida. I can take a trip.
Oh yeah, you're right there.
So I'm in. So Witty is in between me and Ronnie. So I'm in South Carolina. Then we got Witty in Georgia, and then got you in Florida.
So it's boom, boom, and Evan's over there.
I'm all the way on the West Coast, baby. I'm just hanging out like I'm a little island over here. Like, what's up? And it's even worse because I'm in Pacifica, which is right next to San Francisco, which is right where the offices are for Crystal Dynamics for the Avengers dev. So I'm just like, hey guys.
Any affordable cons in California, Evan? That we can
there's nothing ever goes on here. It's so boring, and there's nothing ever happens. They had the GDC actually recently. They had the Game Developer Conference (GDC) in the Moscone Center in San Francisco, but I didn't go because it was just a little bit too expensive. It has been getting more and more expensive over the years. And then I read a report turns out everyone who went got COVID. So I'm glad I skipped that.
Wait, so you're in San Francisco, right, Evan?
Yeah, pretty close to it. Yeah, Pacifica.
Pacifica.
If I wish E3 was happening, I was gonna go, but that's not happening. So
the first E3 I went to was the last one PlayStation went to. But it was sick.
I saw it. That looked crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, guys. So we're about to end it here. Do you guys want to say any ending statements? Shout out anything you'd like to do? Anything you want to shout out? Go ahead. This is your time. You have the floor to do that.
I just want to say, as someone who's relatively new to this Spider-Man PS4, PS5 content creator group, thank you guys for having me. And it's been really cool to connect with you guys and just be part of the group. And Witty's been reacting to some of my stuff, which has been awesome. And I've seen you guys in the comments, and getting to connect with you guys has been awesome because for a while I haven't had many people to talk about this game with. So I mean, creating the videos has just been my way of finding people like you guys to talk about this stuff that I'm passionate about. So it's been a ton of fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Keenan. That means a lot. And I mean, which is why I also wanted to pick you. I see so much potential in you, Keenan, and I saw I see the growth. And when I saw I discovered your channel when you were around 945 subscribers, by the way, and to see you around 2,500 right now, or 2,600, dude, you're absolutely killing it in this game. You actually you're motivating me to okay, you know what? I gotta outdo this guy. I gotta upload more Spider-Man content because this guy's blowing up. And you actually kind of reminded me of myself because, to be honest with you, Keenan, right around July of last year, I was exactly where you were. I was around 1,600. I started blowing up day by day and week by week, and in a mere 2 months, I hit 4,000 subs.
Oh yeah.
So and Joseph he witnessed it. and like everybody started witnessing, and now I'm almost at 10,000.
And Joseph reacted to some of your videos too.
Yeah,
right,
somebody notified me on my Discord, like, "Yo, Witty, like Joseph is reacting." I'm like, "Who's Joseph? Witty?" So I checked it out. I'm like, "Oh, this guy, like, he has like over 20,000 subs." I'm like, "This is good, like public exposure." So, man, congrats.
That's what's weird. It's like I watched all of you guys. Like I started making videos like around 2 months ago, and before that, I'm just fans of you guys. And now I'm here like 2 months later. I'm like,
fan. I'm a fan here too, man. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, bro.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Good, all of you.
I actually did not, like, honestly, I wouldn't believe if I were to tell my past self, "Hey, you're gonna end up talking to Evan Filarca one day." I'm like, I wouldn't believe it.
Please.
I discovered Evan
when
I discovered Evan when he was at 3,000 subs, like around 3,000. This guy was uploading banger after banger, a very detailed videos, and I was like,
don't lie, bro.
I want to do. I'm not lying. I'm like,
if you look back at my phone videos,
yo, I don't care. It's still
that's true.
A video is a video. A good video is a good video, dude. And Evan, you killed it. And then Joseph, I only recently discovered him a few months ago. So awesome job. You guys are all doing a great job. Love it. Keep doing it. And I'm gonna keep doing me as well. So
all you guys are doing phenomenal. And I just want to say my piece here because I think I'm getting emotional because it's like I exist. At least like my channel exists because of this game in particular. Like I've been a fan of Spider-Man since I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, you know, he means so much to so many different people, but you know, us in particular, because we're just so excited for this game and this iteration of the character because of how we all connect to him in such a special way.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
And it's so cool because we all love him individually and also cohesively because of the character that Peter Parker is. But the fact that this version has brought us all together and that we're all sharing the same excitement genuinely and passionately and thoroughly. And the Spidey Squad as a whole, I say this all the time, but it's like, I'm just lucky enough to be a part of it. That Easter egg with the pin and Yuri, like whenever Jameson's going off on me, it helps to know that they're out there. That's for all you guys watching. That's for Keenan. That's for Joseph. That's for Ronnie.
That's amazing.
That's for the other Ronnie who wasn't with us, Ronnie Pugs. That's for Protocol 36 who wasn't
next
with
time.
us, unfortunately.
We'll get all 6 of us here. Next time,
baby. It's stuff like that shows how passionate that this developer is for Spider-Man, but also how much the fan base means to them on such a deep level.
Yeah,
and I'm just so lucky to be where I am now, that the community has grown so much, and I see it growing day in and day out, and that it's just going to keep getting better and better by the time we get more news.
Oh yeah.
And I can't wait to see it continuously grow. And the fact that, as a side note, you know, that the Spidey Squad as a group has been able to raise so much money for so many different charities over the years, and just that we're all here now doing stuff, still sharing our passion, sharing our thoughts, our love for you guys watching and the character we all care about. It's always brings me so much joy and so much inspiration to keep doing what we're all doing now for you guys, and just seeing that keep growing is just a dream come true for just a regular fan, average Joe guy like me. So I can't thank you enough, Ronnie, for having us, and it's just so awesome that
you're very welcome. Damn, Evan, I think I was about to shed a tear with that, dude. That was beautiful. God damn. I'm gonna pull an Andrew Garfield, and I'm gonna put my metaphorical hands on you guys and go like, I love you guys. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. I thank you so much for joining me here on this live stream. It's a dream come true having you guys here as well. Thank you so much. This is amazing, and I'm sure those of you guys who are watching at home right now, thank you for joining, because without you, we wouldn't be anybody. I mean, we're content creators because of you guys who watch us, and we love making content for you guys, and we appreciate your viewership and your support. Thank you to everybody once again, and we're gonna go ahead and end it here. And with all that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe to everybody on this live stream. That's Joseph Witty, Evan Filarca, and Comic Black's Keenan. And I will see you all in the next comic panel. Peace, guys.